Welcome back to Han Took Shots First, and this time we're talking about 1 BBY of Season 2 of Andor. I'm Derrick.
I'm Jack.
I'm the classy alcoholic.
Will you drink to Luthen with me?
Let's drink to Luthen, baby.
Luthen.
Salute.
Welcome back.
Hello there.
It's 1 BBY.
Oh boy, what a goddamn series! What a wonderful series!
What a series! I'm gonna start just by saying something. I'm a little depressed already.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like we talked about it earlier. Like we're halfway through. We only have one more week left. We're done now. The 3 episodes was great, but like, dude, man, now what do I fucking do with myself?
Yeah, I guess you just have to start all Star Wars over again from the beginning.
Okay.
See you later.
That works for me.
I was actually watching some Rebels today because I'm like, man, I don't want to do anything besides Star Wars stuff like right now. So
I guess speaking of Rebels, the Mon Mothma in that was rescued from the Senate by Gold Squadron, which was their whole thing in that last arc, which I didn't know. We talked about how they were going to use Gold Squadron as like kind of like you print the story you want people to see kind of idea.
Yes.
But Gilroy talked about that in an interview, and he's like, well, I had to work around that, so we did this to fit in Cassian, but then also that's not the public story.
It's just kind of perfect, though. Like, yeah, they had to work with it, and he did a great job because Cassian's a nobody. He doesn't get headlines. He has to just be there and fade away. So we need the narrative. So the gold, yeah, it worked really well because we're sticking to it, but we're also writing around it.
And
did I send you the picture of her assistant makes it into Star Wars Rebels?
Yes, yeah, Erskine.
Yeah,
I remembered after the Gilroy quote that what was the boss's name? Like not Donovan, but it's something like Donovan.
Draven. Oh, Draven.
Yeah,
Draven.
Draven says to him when they land, "It's like, look, we're not going to print any of this. Like, she's going to get picked up by Rogue Squadron. This is the official story." I thought when I watched the show, I was like, he's telling Cassie he's not going to get credit. Cassie doesn't give a shit, but that's actually for the audience to say like, this happened. We just never. It was never out there on that other show. So I thought it was really smart.
You know, us Star Wars nerds do that. Like they already were upset. Like that K2SO's story got retconned. Would be like, actually, Cassian didn't rescue her. That was the Gold Squadron. Please and thank you.
So the people who are mad about K2's story being changed from the comics, this is just one guy's opinion. But here's how I think the importance of canon goes. Here's what happened in movies, TV shows. That's about equal. Just below, like an inch below, is what happened in cartoons. Right about here is what happened in books, and right about here off camera is what happened in comics. Because more people are reading the books than the comics. As far as like completion.
He actually has like DeviantArt one step above comics.
Yeah. What happens in DeviantArt definitely is like it's almost equal with movies and TV shows.
As it should be.
We are talking about how this is kind of sad that it's over, and we talked a little bit before about how this was supposed to originally be longer. Like it was definitely picked up for 2 seasons from the gate. We knew that, but he had a 5-season plan,
which I want it.
I mean, I want it too, but there was a good interview. It was with Empire Magazine, and Gilroy was talking about basically he pitched it because he's like, hey, if they accept this, that's a lot of work. I'll take work. But then once it got going and the scope of producing Andor, which is almost entirely practical, sets and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude,
just overwhelmed him.
They built that tiny little part of Ferrix. Like that's a big production.
So like him and Diego Luna, I guess, went off together when they were getting ready to finish up season 1 and had a glass of scotch and came up with a new plan of 2 seasons instead of 5, because basically like the quote from, I think it was from Diego Luna, is that he realized he had no realistic way of pulling this off. Like, oh my God, we have to come up with 12 more hours of story per season.
And hope nobody ages out too poorly.
Yeah, and that's part of it too. And part of the interview, it was like, if this was 1 year per season, it would be different. But it's been 3 years to produce the second season. So, and I mean, there was a writer's strike in there and stuff but all that could happen again. There could be another writer's strike. There could be another global pandemic.
You're not getting a season of this show a year. Yeah, with how they're doing it, there's no way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man, and he's going to lose that boyish face he's got eventually.
Well, and the direct quote
have a mannish face
from Tony Gilroy here is, I think I've given a lot, and I think it's time for me to go do something else, which we talked about. I'm trying to get a movie off. I mean, I'll never say never, but really it's been 5.5, 6 years. And if you throw in Rogue, it goes to 10 years. I mean, I've tried to leave things in better shape than I found them. And I feel good about that right now. I just want to leave it like that. So,
yeah. So I've talked before about one of the YouTube channels I've followed, Generation Tech. It's like the nerdy Star Wars shit. And he had a great point about Tony Gilroy's, like, the blasters in this look different. The blaster fights feel different. One of the things he does, by the way, is he more often than not puts a blank in the blaster, so that way it has recoil, and they can use like a little bit of muzzle flash. But the point of that was because those blaster fights look so different and so great, I kind of want to see him tackle a lightsaber duel.
That's a good point.
That would be because he's going to do it different. Like, I'm not saying I wanted lightsabers on this. No, do that. But I want to see him tackle one. That would be fucking cool.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of lightsabers, and just because we talked about the Force being involved in the last arc and everything, there was an interview that Classy had sent me with AV Club, and there's a part in there where he talks about the interviewer brings up the mystical elements and how do you square that away with Andor being so deliberately grounded. Yeah. And it's really cool because he has this thing. He's like, one of the first conversations I had with Pablo Hidalgo, who's like the keeper of the keys at Lucasfilm. He's a librarian for all the stuff.
He's the Jocasta.
And it basically came down to, like, honest to God, how many people, how many beings in this gigantic galaxy are actually aware of the Force? Almost nobody. How many have ever seen a lightsaber? Almost nobody. Like, the previous material we've gotten has distorted that graphic, or that demographic of, like, it seems like everybody knows about it, but we're getting such a small piece of the galaxy.
Right.
So it's nice to bring that in like an interesting way and make it be something that everybody around this event happening is just like doubtful of, other than Bix. She was in, but like Cassian, and it was all just like, okay. All right.
I mean, Bail Organa is probably one of the only ones because he's seen it. He was there in the Clone Wars and whatnot. Even thinking about it, now that you say it out loud instead of in your head, you would have to be on one of these places where the Clone Wars had a battle, and even then, you're not guaranteed to get a Jedi.
Yeah.
So, and the only people running around with red lightsabers was Dooku, and Asajj Ventress, who was a Sith assassin, so she was very not seen.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't watched the cartoons, but I would imagine they aren't seen in public with their lightsabers that often.
Right.
Because they're not on the ground. I mean, I guess Asajj is more on the ground, but she's, like you said,
even if you see a lightsaber, though, you're just like, oh, cool. Doesn't mean, like, I don't believe you have the Force just because you have a fucking laser sword.
Yeah.
Well, and Bail Organa, he's a senator, and he was part of that. But a lot of these folks that we see in Tit, so it is. And a lot of the people we see in Yemen are just scruffy, just like,
scruffy-looking nerf herders?
Nerf herders, yeah.
Working class folks who just are tired of it. And they weren't in the halls of power. Who knows? They were, the Empire came to their fucking door, and they're pissed about it, just like, the last year or two.
And then I have one last thing I want to talk about before we get into the full thing, because it was from Dan Gilroy, and it was about their introduction of K2 and what could have been if they had done a full arc, and even actually what they tried to do in this, but it just didn't fit with the tone of the way they were doing the story now. This actually sounds really cool. So the introduction for K2 would have been a little different. So Cassian needs to get back to Yavin, and it's difficult because they're tightening shipping lanes and whatever. So he hitches a ride on a rebel freighter, And then there's a whole episode where Cassian's on this freighter and some shit goes down. K2 comes aboard to search it, and it becomes a, quote, nightmarish aliens sort of thing, capital A aliens.
Man.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
It didn't work. It was too different from the other episodes, but it would have basically been like, what I'm getting from this is like K2 trying to hunt these guys on this ship, and then Andor getting him at the end. And that would have been really fun, but
It would have been terrifying, I'm sure.
yeah.
Hey, I like what we got, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. So let's get into episode 10. Make it stop.
I always like to guess who's going to be the one saying this.
Did you guess this one?
Nope.
No.
I thought it was going to be Lonnie.
I
Me
do
too.
like that. I do like that we get a little bit of a flashback, because you had talked before about getting some of Luthen's story.
Yeah,
and we
this
don't
is
really
enough.
get the story, but we get enough. Yeah.
It's enough. He was some sort of Imperial or Imperial line, like maybe like the Morlan of 5 police. You know, he's some sort of at least Empire aligned.
Yeah.
You know, and man, I'm happy with what we got there too.
Yeah.
We knew we keep fucking saying it, but like, it just do your brain work there.
I was going to say that I really like how it reconstitutes Clea's relationship with him, because we knew they're very
Yes.
close. They've worked together for years, but I guess for me at least, I never thought that he basically would have raised her and been a literal father figure for her.
No idea.
And it's good, and it's like it gives different depths to Luthen's character than we already had, because like he cares and he brings this girl to help save her, but then he also just kind of turns her into a child soldier, which is
Right.
frowned upon in polite society.
I mean, he had his he didn't want to at
No,
first.
they both had their reasons. I mean, she obviously went along with it because they were slaughtering her planet, but it's a cool little like thing to show like, hey, he's a good guy, but also he's not a very good guy.
Yeah,
I think at this time we should all go on record and say we're all against child soldiers. Everybody.
I didn't.
Well,
Don't you put words in my mouth.
yeah, right. I should be speaking the opinions expressed on Hunt, who shots first or not necessarily yada yada yada.
And you know what? He was trying to keep her from being a soldier. He wanted her to be more.
Yes,
You know,
I
a
don't-
soldier just goes in and gets killed.
Sure.
All right, fine. I'm against you.
Make sure you will check this episode out on YouTube as well.
yeah, you get the visual gags. But yeah, so we'll get into it. So we're on Coruscant. Clea and Luthen are gearing up for some shit. I like Clea's gearing up involves grabbing a bunch of guns, and Luthen's gearing up involves putting on big gutty rings.
Oh yeah.
But this, like, right out of the gate. So I was watching this with Whitney. I tried to get her to join us, but a friend of hers wanted to go to the bar, and she was like, "You've got 3 people." So
Yeah.
she's doing that instead.
I would have picked
But-
the bar too, honestly.
Is that an option?
Yeah, can we actually just go to the bar right now instead?
Okay, chut chut.
Bye, everybody.
But it starts, and they've got this little thing back and forth, and Clea's like, "Look, if wherever you're going, because we don't know yet, if it doesn't look perfect, don't engage." And Luthen has this line right out of the gate, and Whitney was like, "My nose is already stinging," because that's her like about to cry thing.
Yeah, it's
think
her,
we-
her
I think we
sad
used
bell.
up all the perfect.
Oh, great one, great line.
Yeah,
And she looks, it's a sad Clea look. We've seen angry Clea, we've seen foxy Clea, we've seen bossy. We have not seen
Determined.
sad, and it's not a look I like on her.
so Luthen goes and meets up with Lonnie, and it's this whole back and forth. He's like, "I've got some information. Look, I've had," and this is something we would have seen in the previous season if this were 5 seasons, right? He's like,
Right.
"I've had Dedra's access codes for a year, but I didn't tell you because you would have made me use them, and I wanted to wait for something actually used." He goes in and
He's-
finds out
he's-
that. Oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna say he's really smart though, because he's like, look, I'm not gonna tell you until you can guarantee me we can get out of here. It's like, are you bartering with me? He's like, yeah, or negotiating. He's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's how I'm gonna have to deal with you. You're Luthen.
I do like that when he finally like is like, "Okay, I'll help you." I'm like, "Where are you going to take us, Yavin? Where the fuck is that?" Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Your reation means that this is the right place.
Are you sure that we can't get like relocated to Niamos? Like, I hear it's lovely this time of year. Dude, Naboo would be so fucking chill. Let's go.
And he almost only has those sand troopers. They're not even that tough.
Yeah, well, they do have the K2 units though, so
Yeah, that's true.
The shore troopers can fuck off.
Shore troopers.
I would love for that to have worked out, and Lonnie's there with like in Space Miami with his mustache and like a vest with no shirt and like a fancy cocktail, just like hanging out partying with his space lady friend.
Well, you just imagine what Jack looks like right now, but take off the beard. Actually, no, Lonnie would have to grow a beard.
He would have to
be in hiding. So Jack is basically just Lonnie and Yamos right now. He's got the shirt, he's got the sunglasses, he's got the drink. Hopefully he doesn't have Darth Vader right behind him.
And they never found me. Oh shit. We gotta go. Hey, we gotta go. But the K2s were bad.
The two things he's got here is that Dedra's putting together an operation on Coruscant, and he thinks they're coming for Luthen. And that in the files he found that the Emperor's energy program, which has been the code for the Death Star this whole time, is a lie.
Lies. Deception.
Exactly. And Luthen's like, cool, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Everything's gonna be fine. And then he murders this dude in a park.
I mean, I was waiting the entire time for like a random sniper bullet to hit him because it was going to be the Empire. I thought like he was going to be like, "Hey, here's what I found out." Boom, dead. Nope.
Well, the
information took the words out of my mouth, Jack.
The information has to get to the rebellion at some point, right? To set up Rogue One, and then the whole rest of the
yeah, for sure. But I don't know, man. It had, maybe it's the angles they were choosing that I was like, he's going to be popped right before he can say anything, or right as he says something, and then Luthen's going to have to run. But didn't think it'd be Clea.
And I think that's the point, though, is it's trying to make you feel paranoid the way both of these characters do. Lonnie is paranoid because he thinks the Empire is coming right now, and Luthen is paranoid because he's Luthen.
Because he knows the Empire's coming right now.
Yeah, he's backed himself into a corner, I do really like the way they do it. Like, he's like, okay, cool, I'll take care of you. And we show Luthen walking away and then go back to like this space dog finding Lonnie's dead body.
I want to say it was a Lothcat.
Was it a Lothcat?
It kind of looked like it.
It looked like something I've seen before. Maybe in one of those cartoon episodes I've watched, but it did look familiar.
It looked like a Pokemon to me.
2-hour program on Disney Plus where you can just have a Lothcat sleeping on your TV purring. So do what you want with that information.
It's like a Yule log, but it's a Lothcat.
It's exactly that, dude. I think it came out around the Christmas time too. They're like, "Hey, want to just put this on?" I'm like, "No."
And then you did.
I'm surprised you said no. Yeah, of course.
Well, because it doesn't get up and make biscuits or nothing. I mean, yeah, I watched the whole 2.5 hours, just lays there like some cat. Look, if you could see, my cat is just laying on my lap sleeping.
I didn't want to fast forward through it, so I watched the whole thing just in case.
I didn't want to compromise the integrity of the Lothcat. Somebody worked hard on that little bugger.
I didn't like it. I did watch it 3 times, but I did not like it any of the 3 times.
I mean, it's on right now in my living room, but like I don't like it.
So he meets up with Clea, and it's like he's gonna go back and burn the assets instead of her, and he's like, just go wait for me, I'll be there definitely for sure. But they exchange this look like, nah, this ain't gonna happen.
Not like this.
Let's not forget to mention what Lonnie actually tells him, that the Empire is building a weapon.
Yeah.
That all the fake shit on Gorman was that the energy program was fake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mentioned that, but it's basically he's like, all this shit that's been in every episode has all been tied to the Death Star. Do you know that?
He's drilling it into her too. He's like, Gorman mining material, Kyber crystal, super weapon, Urso, sexy Mads Mikkelsen. Let's go.
Yeah. Just keep repeating it over and over. And she tries the same thing with Cassian, and he's like, no, I have emotions.
I'm a little disappointed that Luthen didn't have just like a fucking kill switch for this motherfucking place.
Yeah, I was this close to expecting like a cyanide tooth.
Yeah,
me too.
Absolutely, which they kind of have. We saw one in Mando. It's an electronic one. Your boy that plays Titus Welliver. Yeah. He grabs one and he basically hails hydras and just electroshocks his brain. So this exists, kind of thing.
Yeah, because his out doesn't seem, but I guess she came a little earlier than he was expecting. So
Yeah, he thought he had more time, but still, man, like I would have, if I'm Luthen, I'm going to have at least a dead man switch, which is like the kind of thing in your heart when you die, it blows something up. Or I'm going to have a fucking panic button where I pull this button and it firebombs my entire place.
Or like Clea says in the third episode, is like, Luthen always told me, don't go in somewhere until you know your way out. So he should have had multiple ways out. You know what would be cool? The dead man switch on the heart thing would have been really cool because of what happens with him going to the hospital and everything. And it's like days later and all these fucking ISB CSI guys are still in his place and he finally dies and it just blows out.
Just firebombs him. I was at least expecting some sort of trap here. You know, when everyone's poking around this stuff, which at one point, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but actually maybe it's not. It's at one point it shows his shop and there's a couple of cool things. The knife is cool, but there's also something from, I believe it's Rebels. It's the stone tablet that had a hand closed and a hand open.
Yeah.
It's one of the ways to access the world between worlds. Like maybe this is where fucking Palps gets it, dude.
All right. Yeah, they lingered on that for a moment, so I was like, all right, this has been in something. But yeah, he does this.
I've definitely talked about it before. It might even be in Ahsoka. I can't remember. I haven't rewatched that one yet.
I think we'll be there later. Nope, not till next year. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But he has this like chemical burn thing to burn out the console.
It looks cool.
I'm kind of like, I mean, the story wouldn't move forward without this happening, but like when Dedra rings the doorbell, he goes and answers it. I'm like, pour the rest of the goop.
This is a rookie mistake from him.
Yeah, they can wait. Whoever it is can wait. They want to see you. You're a very important man.
You're very clearly burnt. Like you know this. That's why you're doing it. Finish it up.
But this scene is fucking great. Like with Luthen and Dedra, and they're back and forth, and like they're still holding up the pretense, even though they both know it's bullshit. It's like, oh, I'm an antiques dealer, and this and that, and
it kind of reminded me of the episode we just did, Heat, with fucking powerhouses De Niro and Pacino having coffee. It's that same kind of just verbal, like fucking sparring.
Yeah.
It does get a little too cute for me because he pulls out the blade and he's like, oh, this might be a fake, this might not. And she's like, well, is this real? And he said, what? We don't know. The tension mounts. I'm like, okay, I'll allow it because it's this show, but
yeah.
That's his character though, right? That's how he would talk because he's there to sell this shit. So even if he's telling them, like, because he's still pretending to be the salesman just in case Lonnie was wrong, right? And so he's doing the thing that he would do with any customer, like maybe it's fake. The tension mounts.
I get that, but I can also see, I'm ready to see who wrote this one just clickety clacking in the office, being like, "Oh, I fucking nailed it." You know what I mean? It's just a little too cute, but it's a minor complaint. Minor complaint.
The knife belongs to, I can't remember the name. It's like Nauticon or something.
Nordian or something like that.
It sounds like nautical for a reason, because do you know Derrick's favorite Star Wars name, Jedi Kit Fisto?
Kit Fisto, that's one of my favorites too.
That's his race, the dreadlock dude.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's one of his people's ancient fucking bleeders.
But she's like, I've got a piece for you, and pulls out this quote unquote vintage Imperial Starpath unit from the first season.
Well, fuck.
Yep. He's like,
should I just drop the charade now?
Oh, and he does it right away because she's like, I've dreamt of this and you were here the whole time. And he's like, that's funny because I knew who you were the whole time, you fucking idiot.
Doesn't seem fair, does it? Because you're really bad at your job and I am the greatest.
I do love somebody that goes out swinging, even though it's just like antagonize the person holding the gun to your head. What do you give a shit? Oh, you're burnt.
One of my favorite moves in a movie is when someone knows they're fucked and they fucking like grab the grenade and jump into a monster's mouth or whatever. Like, I'm taking you with me kind of move. I love that move. And that's, Luthen's can't do that, but he's going to at least, like, hey, one little jab before I leave this world.
Well, and speaking of jabs, he turns around.
But before that, sorry, I got something.
That's a great segue.
Sorry. I have to call out the writing, or not call it out, but I have to praise the writing. Luthen says, freedom scares you. And she says, You don't want freedom, you want chaos, which is perfect because everyone thinks they're the hero here. Everyone thinks they're doing the right thing.
Uh-huh.
The Empire is not being an asshole. They're restoring order to the galaxy.
And he's great. He looks her in the eyes and he's like, "You're confident, terrified, but confident."
Yeah. But yeah, he turns around as she's distracted by the smoke coming out of the back and stabs himself with the blade. And I presumably because it's called a bleeder, it's meant for ultimate. Again, going back to the episode we just recorded that I mentioned maybe on our previous little blurb we did, but Face Off, you put it in and you twist it so that it won't stop bleeding.
The wound doesn't close.
It's a bleeder for bleeding.
Yeah. And so these guys swoop in and like secure the scene. It's really weird, and we see it throughout these 3 episodes, but it's weird seeing stormtroopers without helmets.
Okay, so I had a thought about that.
I'm not against it. It's just
no.
weird.
I had a thought about it, and I think it's because this is on Coruscant. They want, and this is like more of a friendly patrol to everybody else. So like take the helmets off and humanize them a little bit. It's going to make all these rich people a little more comfortable. You know, if you see just stormtroopers with helmets, you're like, oh shit, dude, I'm kind of scared. You know, and you don't want to piss off your rich bureaucrats.
I guess they're walking around there like, man, that guy's sweet mustache calms me down.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
We'll get to that guy, but
oh, you mean the fucking Punisher squad?
Yeah.
These guys, if you talked about it with Luthen needing a fucking skull on his, these guys should have fucking skulls straight up on their armor.
Oh yeah, they are the what is it? Just the anti-vigilante task squad from
task force,
the Punisher Corps,
Born
or whatever
Again.
they go by.
But yeah, so then we go to ISB, and before I've done these as like let's do this thread and that thread. These 3 episodes all kind of follow straight through. Other than like the flashback thing has a little bit of jumping, but we have Hirt and Partagaz, and they're talking about how Dedra found Axis, Lonnie's dead. They have the Imperial CSI team at his shop, and then we have Clea by herself, and that's when we get a little bit of jumping. So we'll go through her flashback first, and then we'll talk about what she does.
We find out what floor the safe room is on at one point.
27.
Yep.
No, that's the floor of the apartment. Sorry, I misspoke. The level on Coruscant they're at.
Oh, do they say that?
They say it's on 5,000 something, and that's estimated.
549, I think it was.
You say it again.
I think it was 549.
Okay,
I might be wrong on
because there is about what are they estimated like 5,100 and something levels. So you're not too low.
Okay,
you're away from that dangerous 1313 we've talked so much about.
Where Uncle Remus or whatever his name is hangs
Uncle Arlo.
Uncle
Uncle Remus. Song of the South Empire.
Yeah, I got Disney on the brain, you know.
Hey, let me
Song of
pitch
the
a movie
South.
to you. So it's that the Gormans are actually happy to be slaughtered. The Wookiees are really happy the Empire came in and turned them into slaves. That's what it's about. You're going to have Chewbacca and fucking Captain Tarful and all these other guys just zippity-doo-dahing all around Kashyyyk.
He's got a bunch of cute stories about Breer Lothcat and
oh man, the big one's going to have to be a Wampa. The bear, he's going to have to be just a big
Breer Wampa, Breer Lothcat, and Breer Crystal Fox.
There you go. Nailed it, actually.
That was the last animal I could think of. I was like, shit, I'm running out.
Bantha.
Like a banta.
Breer. Oh, what the fuck are those stupid things they cut open and live inside of in Empire?
Tauntaun.
Tauntaun.
Oh, Tauntaun,
Breer Tauntauns. I thought they smelled racist on the outside.
Anyway.
So in this flashback, we kind of learn Luthen's real name, at least his last name. He's Sergeant Lear.
So, just mix up the letters here.
Yeah. Rael, Lear. Hey, whatever.
I just got that. Holy shit. I didn't realize that.
Oh, really?
Watching. He just flipped it backwards. Oh,
because that's what he does. He flips.
All right, that works. That works.
So that means his real name is Nachitel.
Yeah. You sprain yourself.
Yeah, I hurt something there. But yeah, it's just this thing of him, like he's sitting on the ship having a panic attack of what's going on, and you can hear the radio, and it's like, boy, look at all these civilians. We sure should kill them.
Anything that moves, go ahead and kill them.
Yeah, it's a very Full Metal Jacket. Like we shoot anything that moves. What about the ones that don't move? Or what is it? Anything that moves is a rebel. What about the ones that don't move? Well behaved rebel.
Yeah, well trained rebel, well behaved.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I was watching it that it was a POV shot of Luthen sitting there until the camera moves and you can see it's actually Clea hiding behind the thing. It was amazing. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was subtle.
Yeah, it doesn't. I didn't realize it at first either until they had weird shots where he's talking and they're like hiding the character he's talking to because they're behind the vent thing. And I was like, well, is this a character we're going to know? And then you finally see him and I'm like, I don't know that guy. That's because it's her looking through a vent. So. But this is where we get the name of the episode. He's sitting there. He's like, make it stop. Rosh Nelutz, which assuming is his native language.
Which I'm going to eventually look up and see if like maybe that'll tell us where he's from. Not that it's needed. I don't want this show to do that, but I will.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's for. That's what it's for. It's for like lore nerds who are like, someone's like, oh, that's the language from fucking the shipbuilding planet.
Yeah. Steer guard.
Yeah, I was thinking of the one that Han Solo's from. I don't know.
Oh, Corellia?
Corellia. I kept wanting to say Coruscant, and I was like, it's definitely a C.
It's not Coruscant.
It's not. I knew it wasn't Coruscant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one guy comes in, and just to put a nail in what's going on here, he's like, hey, you got any more of those burners? The captain wants the streets on fire.
Dude, and the radio just keeps going. It's like, there's nobody left here to kill. We must have killed like 50 in this basement.
Yeah. He finds baby Clea hiding in there. And then we kind of get basically a montage of him training her or grooming her, depending on your perspective, over the years.
Yeah. Here's why I'm okay with it. Because she was going to do something stupid anyway. She was going to go guns akimbo and get herself killed and take out, 5 people at the most?
She's hiding in this Imperial ship. So best case scenario for her at that point, she gets back to wherever they're from. And then she's taken prisoner. Worst case scenario, they come in and hear her knock something over like she did and shoot her.
Yeah. She's going to be, she was on her way to get raised like Dedra in a fucking ISB Imperial, what do you call it? Orphanage.
ISB Kinder Center, they call it.
Yeah. Oh, Kinder Center.
But
German doesn't make things sound better.
No. Well, Gilroy knows what he's going for here.
Yeah, he knows.
So they basically have this montage of things. It's like they're trying to sell artifacts right out of the gate. That's their thing. I do like the first one with Clea is like the more shrewd negotiator. Like Luthen's about to take some lowball offer, and she's like
7 instead of 20.
Lady.
Yeah.
And even said, I think it's worth 50. We'll take 20 or something like that.
Yeah. And she's like, well, this Zula told us she'd give us 15. Zula's a criminal. Yeah. Well, so give you my shit back. I'm out of here.
I'm getting my 15.
The money spends the same, baby.
We'll do 18 and no smile.
Yeah, I like that. She's like 10 if you smile. 20.
Nope.
And then the next one, selling off more artifacts. Devronian necklace of some sort.
Deveronians are the horned devil, the devil-looking dudes.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
Yes.
In Mandalorian.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
And also one of them's hanging out there in Mos Eisley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't Devil Guy get cut out after the special edition, or was that the werewolf?
No, it's the werewolf. It's the Chauvinistan, I believe.
Yeah, the werewolf guy got cut out for sure, but who knows? I mean, they might have cut out the devil guy too. They're like, oh, Satan doesn't belong in Star Wars.
Replace him with a walkie-talkie for the special
edition. I don't know. I've seen that special edition twice.
Walkie-talkies on his head.
Yeah.
I've seen the special edition twice. Once in theaters when it came out, and I don't remember anything except disappointment. And then once right before Force Awakens came out. And then I got those despecialized. I got a despecialized Blu-ray years ago, and I got those new despecialized 4Ks recently. So I'll never watch that shit again.
Yep, same.
Absolutely not.
I think the Deveronians are too important to. You can't get rid of them. They have a very deep lore in well, not so much canon now, but they're in fucking. So you got some of them in Rebels and Clone Wars. So yeah, they're good.
Well, now the werewolf people do. We got that guy Brutus running around Skeleton Crew. So.
No, he ain't running nowhere now. They put that boy to sleep.
The big sleep. Red and Stimpy reference for the one person who can cross over between that. So I do like this one though. So Clea sees them walking away with the Imperial prisoners, and she doesn't want to leave them. Luthen's like, "Cool, peace out. You're on your own." and she watches these dudes get murdered, and she's like, when are we gonna do anything? And Luthen has a great line. It's like, we fight to win, and that means
Which
we're gonna
means-
lose and lose until we're ready.
Yep. He's already ready. He instantly was like, I'm in for the long.
Yeah. He knew from day one. He's like, I'm gonna take these motherfuckers out no matter what it takes. And who knows what his position. I mean, I know he was a sergeant, but what was his position? What was his squad? Was he already intelligence? It seems like it, right?
Right.
Some
right.
kind
I mean,
of intelligence.
he did have a helmet somewhere. He did say he had to reload. So I mean, he was on the boots on the ground.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know how their stuff's split up. I mean, he obviously has some kind of intelligence experience just based on the rest of his existence.
Yeah.
Either that or he just learned real fast.
Who knows? He was also very, very young, though. So as we saw de-aged Stellan Skarsgård looking great.
Yeah.
And I think they did very little. I mean, they gave him an imperial haircut, and they kind of erased some wrinkles. And I'm okay with that. Don't give me a full Tarkin mask, or have a different actor play him like Luke Skywalker, and then just CG a face on. Like, they did the same guy, and they just kind of like smoothed him out. They gave him a Snapchat filter.
That's it. If he opens his mouth, have a rainbow come out.
There's a Loth cat sitting on his shoulder.
Give me Loth cat ears. I want Loth cat ears. Clea's right away, because as they're bartering, she's like, "Where'd you get this piece?" And she's like, "Oh, it's my wife's, or was my wife's. Where's she at?" Or does she know that you have it? And Clea's like, "She's dead." And Luthen gives a look like, "Huh? I didn't tell her that. She just kind of figured it out. Good for her. There's something here."
Yeah.
It does give Clay a lot of, like, she's already smart, she's knowledgeable even as a baby. Like, she's not completely just a blank slate that loosen molds. Like, she's got some skills to her early on, which I appreciate.
Right.
And I'm often anti-child actor, but like the girl that played Leia, I thought she had her moments of being good and her moments of being just an awful little annoying shit kid. Yeah. And this girl, I mean, we don't get much of her, but I'm like, I'd watch her in a show.
I thought she was great. I thought she portrayed Clea very well. I mean, kind of an easier role to do as you're younger. There's not a lot of subtlety to it. Just be grumpy and angry now.
And then the next little bit is he hands her this device while they're hanging out in this nice little diner or whatever, like cafe.
Looks like Naboo, but I could be wrong. Is that what you saw?
I wrote down Naboo for sure.
Yeah,
there are houses with the green domes on the there.
Look like very lakes and rivers that you're used to.
Based on the timeline, I was like, I hope fucking Jar Jar is one of those goddamn transports they blow up. I was like, kill him off, goddammit.
Jar Jar's still alive. He's actually training under Darth Sidious at this point.
Yeah, he had to stop his training, but then somehow
Jar Jar returned to training.
But he hands her this little device, and he's like, "Do it." And she's like, "You think I'm not going to do it?" And so she goes for it, and he's like, "Yeah, don't do that."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, you told me to," and he's like, "I lied. Get used to it."
I lie.
Yeah.
Get used to it. It's going to happen a lot.
And beep, they blow up these fucking little Imperial transports, and I do like his thing because she goes to look, and he's like, "No, look at me. We're talking."
Because you're going to get caught if you're looking too early.
And then after he blows it up, he's like, "Now look, and now let's get the fuck out."
No.
But also, he didn't look at all, which is also very suspicious.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Looking at her, I was like, "Come on, you idiot!"
I didn't even think about that. Like, all right, that one guy didn't react to a big fucking explosion. So,
well, he was watching her, so someone's like, "Oh, he just really cares about his daughter." Maybe.
Yeah, right. No reaction at all.
even if he wasn't involved in the explosion, they would arrest that guy who didn't react.
He's been following the news, and he knew that these transport built by Tesla for the Empire have just been blowing up on their own.
Blow all the time.
So,
ISB
is he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be leaving now. We made our choice. Let's go." And then we'll go back to Clea now. She's at the safe house, gearing up, goes and sneaks into the hospital. Yeah, she's not. Every time we see her from the beginning.
The safe house was great.
House.
She was fantastic.
No, she looks rough, but every time we see her, she's getting more and more haggard. Like, because everything's weighing on her more and more.
She's not in a proper house or palace. She's in a safe house. Like, you're just gonna put your hair in a fucking bun. You're not gonna have any fanciness to it.
Yeah. And she goes to sneak into the hospital. We see that Luthen is still alive.
She doesn't look ragged here. She looks fucking great in these scrubs, space scrubs, which almost looks like one of my Guayaberas that I have.
Clea dresses up like a sexy nurse. I think Tony Gilroy was looking at my search history.
Smart man.
Dedra gets arrested by Hirt.
Oh, it's so funny too because she's like, "What? I'll debrief you in a second or something like that." And he's like, "What? I'm here to arrest you. That's ridiculous. How could that be?" Dude,
And-
you
and
are
here was-
fucking up.
I just overstepped my authority and arrested Axis, and then almost got him killed and lost our only lead to the rebellion. But I
And
don't
doing
know
shit I
why.
wasn't supposed to be doing, like or doing it in ways I wasn't supposed to be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Here was like, you did all this on my day off or something like that.
Yeah,
she
you
was-
waited for my day off.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when there's an active rebellion and you're like in charge of this shit, you don't get a day off. Sorry, dude.
Fuck no, dude. Part
Well,
gas is
but
a day
it's-
off.
No, but also that you have seconds or number twos or underlings and you put them in charge. So he should have been like, hey, Frankie was in charge. Space Frankie was in charge today. You didn't tell him shit, Dedra.
What the hell you need a day off for, man? You fucking these guys like just breathe in the Empire. They chop up little fucking lines of the Empire and just sniff it.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he had to get his shuttle like emissions done in the shuttle. There's only like they were only available during the day. That was shit.
They
No,
got
he's got
lower.
shit to
They got lower level guys for that. That's some
That's
intern
true.
shit,
Well,
my
also,
friend.
he's got government plates. He doesn't need to
Get-
worry about it.
That's true.
All of these motherfuckers from the Kinder group. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Hey, orphan, go get my emissions done.
Space emissions.
But yeah,
Space Emissions is a really good porno I watched once.
she's sneaking up and she's got one of these little devices just like the one they had on presumably Naboo there, and
Yeah.
she blows up a bunch of ships in this cargo bay. I do like this goes back to what I was talking about real quick about the helmets, so it kind of makes sense. We see Imperial guards all throughout the hospital because Luthen's there and everything. Most of them don't have helmets. She figures out where he is because she finds the area where it's like, okay, no helmet, no. Oh, there's 12 guys with helmets.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't catch that. And in order to sneak her way in, she just finds this random alien granny, like in
Dude, I love that
she
shit.
kidnaps. That was hilarious. The
It's
little
almost
alien's like,
ET.
what?
It's almost the ET race.
Did you guys have subtitles on? I know Jack didn't.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I did. I know. I know what you're gonna say.
So she takes the granny up, and then when she leaves her behind, and the granny's just sitting there going dip dap dooby dap doo, the subtitle said "Granny scatting."
And I think, and now I know Tony Gilroy is looking at my search history. I was like, I know you. I know you're looking at me, you dirty fucking pervert.
Oh,
I
this
told
guy's
Tony Gilroy. I told Tony Gilroy, get out of here, you little pervert. I'll slap you silly.
Where's Tony Gilroy from?
Pervert land.
Ireland. He's from Ireland.
Is he-
This fella right here has got a search history for grandma's pooping. I'm going to put that in the movie for him. I know he's watching, so we're going to put in grandma's pooping in a wheelchair. Just for my man, classy alcoholic.
Oh, well, him and all his idiot friends are going to get on a podcast and talk about it. Come on, Granny's pooping.
No,
Got a whole
he's
podcast
American.
about granny's pooping.
He said
Well,
he grew up
that's
in New York.
disappointing.
Yeah. Well, you could have Irish heritage. You know.
That's right. He did grow up in New
God.
York, you said.
Yeah, he's about as American as you can get. Born in Manhattan.
The Sooth didn't, was he really?
Yeah, I don't think
American.
anybody was actually born in Manhattan.
Right?
He just moved there.
Yeah, that's where you fucking find yourself.
If you're born in Manhattan, it's like you're somebody's pregnant has a toilet baby in Manhattan.
If you are going to make a Born in Manhattan movie, it has to have Jennifer Lopez.
and Jason Bourne. Bourne. Manhattan.
Yes, Born in Manhattan is so much better when it's Jason Bourne. Well said.
And it's Jason Bourne trying to assassinate Jennifer Lopez.
There you
Perfect.
go.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Jason Bourne, I just thought of another thing. I thought of another thing from the interview on AV Club with Tony Gilroy. He's talking about the hardest part of this, especially shortening it, was trying to get people in the same room who shouldn't be in the same room together.
Right.
Like they have the museum thing in the one arc with where Lonnie's there and Clea's there and Krennic's there, all that stuff. He's like, it's always the hardest part. He's like, it goes back to when I was doing those Bourne movies. He's like, the action scenes aren't the hard part. The hard part's getting these two people in a room together when they're supposed to be, one of them's chasing the other one, and they're supposed to be apart. And it just made me think of that because he does a great job in this. Because I mean, we always attribute these are written by this guy and these are written by this guy, but it's
Right.
TV shows are written by a consensus, you know. So it's a good little thing. Like they always find a good reason. Like Gorman was a perfect example, which he talks about in the interview, of how to get everybody there, because everybody has an interest in what's going on. So it's a perfect place to get all of our people to converge.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
it's awesome.
But yeah, she blows up that shit. A bunch of the troopers run out, and she goes in. I like how there's another guy, and he's like, "Hey, what are you, blamp?"
Blammo,
Just dead.
dead.
And then she has to go in and disconnect this machine, and it's fucking super sad.
There was like a half a second where I was like, man, is she going to try and save? No, she's not going to try and save him. She knows.
Yeah.
I did also kind of think that maybe she was going to like suicide with him a little bit.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
But then I was like, but she hasn't told anybody. She can't. She
Yeah.
can't die. She now has this much plot armor until she fucking relays this.
I expected her to take off his respirator and to, pull the cord. The Imperials open the door and she's on the floor, like having blown her blades out with a blaster. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the electrocyanide tooth.
Also that, yeah.
Got to give
And
me
then
one of those.
that's the end of that first episode.
Oh, before let's do a little post-mortem. Literally, we all talked about how Luthen's death had to be, epic. He had to go out in epic fashion. Was it fairly epic? Was it epic enough for y'all?
It worked. It worked. I wanted him to take somebody out with him, but he not in a mean way. He served his purpose. He built the rebellion that he never got to join. He started a fire he'll never fucking see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed when they revealed that he stabbed himself, but also it was like one of those things where I was hoping for, like a siege situation and maybe like a shootout of some sort. But also this makes more sense than what I was hoping for. I just wanted an action scene. I wanted him to have that epic Willem Dafoe at the end of Platoon moment.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Sean Bean getting shot with arrows and Lord of the Rings, but with blasters.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy how it went down 100% because it fits. His character was always cloak and dagger shit, and that's how he goes out, literally with a dagger, which is another thing that's kind of a little too cutesy, but okay. But no, his death.
Was he wearing a cloak?
I think was he? He might have been. Actually,
It didn't have a hood, so I don't think it counts as a cloak.
I think the way he went out.
All right.
It was a clandestine cloak and dagger operation that had to get him off the board, and I think it worked perfectly. I mean, really, let's be honest. Clea was just hanging out in the periphery for most of season one, for all of season one. So it was awesome to give her an amazing one. This whole arc, this whole 3 episodes are centered on her mostly,
and this is what she's been waiting for. What Luthen has been training her for. Like, look, we're done losing. This is us getting a win, as much as we are going to see of it. And I mean, she just fucking goes through this hospital perfectly. Even coming up in the next episode, they're like, we're pretty sure it's a team of 3 based on what the dead bodies that we have, the precision, the timing. Like, it just 3 people sounds like the smallest amount you can have.
It's got to be 3 people or 1 really, really smoking hot badass chick.
Yeah, dude, she went full John Wick because you took her Luthen away.
Yeah,
and we didn't get. I kind of I didn't really notice until the episode ended, because I was like, "There's no Andor in Andor."
Yeah, I noticed that too.
But
I didn't even think about that.
The story isn't about him. He's just the host of the perspective kind of here. But
he's collecting.
Yeah,
and this is somebody else he's going to collect right now.
This is the next episode. Who else knows? Did you get this one right, Jack?
Nope.
All right. So
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Clea or Andor, talking about like who else knows that information, or that Luthen's dead, or that this board is compromised.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember who says it.
Krennic.
Bale? Krennic. That's right. It's Krennic in the most terrifying, one of the most terrifying scenes in this series.
Dude, it's intense.
This is the scariest Krennic has ever been. All of Rogue One and his previous appearances, not even close.
I dare say it's the scariest that Ben Mendelsohn's ever been.
He did a movie, Joel Schumacher's last movie, with Nick Cage and Nicole Kidman. So I loved it because I love Nicole Kidman.
That's magic.
That's dripping with sarcasm, by the way. But he was like a home invader in that, and until you get to the second half, he's pretty fucking. He's the only actor in that movie that's acting. because Nick Cage is just barely there, Nicole Kidman's not there, and the other people are all just Canadian nobodies. So like he's in that movie, and it's like one of his first early roles, and I was like, damn, Ben Mendelsohn can be scary. And then I was watching this and I was like, no, Ben Mendelsohn can be scary.
Ben Mendelsohn can be scary.
Like
he's scarifying.
I think of him from Marvel, his little scroll guy that's all cuddly and shit. Like
Talos.
Talos, yeah.
Or the really, really shitty villain in Ready Player One, which I think we've actually mentioned on this episode. Sucks.
I've
seen it once. I didn't remember that he was the villain. I could have wiped that movie from my head.
I've seen it twice because I watched it in theaters, and then when I first bought my 4K TV and I went and looked through all the Blu-ray or the 4Ks that were available at the store, I was like, well, that one will look pretty. So I bought it just to see my new 4K TV and 4K player in action. And then I watched it, and then it's still sitting over there on the shelf. I've never put it back in. I enjoyed the book, but that's not the movie. So
sure.
So we start right at the aftermath of the hospital attack, the whole team of 3 thing. I do like this hospital administrator. Like, you don't tell me when to close my office. I'll close my office.
This is my hospital. Arrest him, probe him, just like strip search him. I want you to see if you can tuck his penis inside of itself while you search him. And really just give him the old Gorman reach around.
Turns out you have a good point, and I'll keep the hospital closed.
Okay. Long live the empire.
Very, very, very realistic in the way, the fascist regime works. It's like, man, if you're in my way, we're going to arrest you. We're going to figure out why we don't give a shit. We're going to, you're impeding an investigation. It's just,
we'll arrest you. People will ask questions. In a couple of days, we'll give them an answer.
No one's going to
get something out of you.
I do appreciate you. I appreciate that he did go up like as a badass. Like, don't you fucking tell me what to do in my hospital. I knew it wasn't going to turn out well, but
he's a big, intimidating dude. This Dr. Reclaw.
You know what it is, dude?
He's a giant man.
It's McCarthyism. Like, talk about real world. It's just like, hey, communists. Boom.
Yep.
That's all it is. All you got to do is be like, well, why'd you arrest the guy that owns the hospital? Rebel. I have evidence that he's a fucking rebel. I can show you. I planted it, but I have it.
But then we have Krennic and Dedra. She's in this like prison cell, and it's this long intro of him like shutting off the cameras, and she's like, "Well, that doesn't sound good," because he hears them turn off.
She knows the sound.
He takes this long march around, and when he's standing behind her talking, and the camera is focused square on her, but it's his body above her and you can't see his head or anything. It's just like, good God, this is really well shot and really well acted and really fucking intimidating.
Oh, I wanted to go back real quick, and I'm just because you said good shot. The last episode ends on a very long fadeaway of Luthen, and I loved it. Like, I thought, this is what it deserves. The death, you can argue you wanted more or less from the death, and that's fine. But like, just to have it. This is what the episode was about. This is it. Luthen got his end. He's not going to end up being tortured to be some dirty fucking snitch. You get nothing. Good day. Thank you.
Oh, and speaking of him being tortured too, I was of a couple minds of what was going to happen. For one moment before he stabbed himself, I was like, oh shit, they're going to take him and try to torture him. But it's going to be this long drawn out thing of like, I don't care about baby alien screams. Go fuck yourself.
I was born into them. Molded by it. You adapted to baby worm screams.
You were merely adapted to them. He starts talking weird because he's being tortured.
Yeah. What happened to his voice?
I mean, it was only weird before, but it became a different weird.
This man loves his accents, man. He cannot turn it off. Even when being tortured by little worms.
You think dying baby aliens are your ally?
You went into the Baby Billy accent. I couldn't stop but laugh.
Little baby worm screaming. I mean, that's a great big old alien worm just booger.
Speaking of Baby Billy, did you see the teaser for Fallout Season 2?
No, I didn't know there was media for it yet.
It's a very small teaser. There's like 3 little clips of Walton Goggins doing like commercials for people, like back before he was turned into a ghoul.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a flash of him and the main girl looking at New York or Las Vegas, New Vegas.
Fuck yeah.
And that's it. But those 3 commercials with him, he's like, I sure do. Like one of them is sunscreen, and he's like, why the fuck would people need sunscreen? We're in a vault. Like,
that is a Baby Billy type of delivery there.
Yeah.
he's like,
I'm
listen,
going to be sunscreen for living in a goddamn vault.
one of the things is like, let's be honest, this is just lotion. Like,
I can't wait.
yeah, it's funny. And they also announced they already announced season 3. So
That I did see,
which is good and bad. That's good and bad. I'm like, oh, cool, more. But then I'm like, that means this one's going to be another fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hopefully they'll give us a new Fallout game.
Yeah.
They got to do another Elder Scrolls first, so that'll be 2030. So Fallout 5 or Fallout 6 will be, or Fallout 5 will be 2050, 52.
Not if they shop it out to another studio. There's a studio that already said they'd love to tackle it, and it's Obsidian. Those are the guys that did New Vegas.
Right.
Yeah,
They want it.
Fallout.
They want it.
It's my least favorite Fallout.
Is
That's
it really?
fine.
People, a lot of people say that that's the best, their favorite is
Yeah,
New Vegas.
I don't like factions in my games. I don't got time for that. Like GTA, when you had to keep going back to take care of your gangs, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm here to play a game.
Oh, I love that shit. I couldn't get enough.
just drove 300 miles across San Andreas, and now I got to go back, drive all the way back across town to help my gang because they can't do it themselves.
Oh, I'd let them take it over and then go.
I'm just an overweight guy because my character was fat.
You never went to the gym in that game.
No,
Yeah, you never
time
ride
for
your
that.
bike around.
I don't need to eat food. I don't need to work out, and I don't need to help my fucking gangs.
If you max out your bike, you can go so fast and you start jumping over shit. Like I'm talking BMX bike.
Krennic is trying to question her, and she's like talking, and he squats down into the camera's frame, and he's like, "What single thing would drag me into this forsaken basement?"
Did it have to do with the fact that we've found access? He's like, why do you? My career fell so fucking low that I'm here for that. No.
I'll give you a hint.
Says,
It rhymes with Schmeth Schmar.
Say it. Say the words.
She says, "Are you here because Lonnie died?" And he was like,
That's what it
"Why
was.
the fuck would I care about?" I think he says a clerk, an imperial clerk.
Yeah.
Is beneath me.
Yeah. Because we've
Yeah,
already
and-
seen everything we've seen with him before, including Rogue One and then the first season, is like, yes, he's a big muckety muck, but he always has this kind of like disarming thing when he's talking to people, much like Luthen, where he kind of is just like, I'm very casual, even though he's doing very serious shit. Here,
Yeah.
I mean, right after this, when she says Death Star, and he like goes up to her and like just plants his finger on her head and starts walking around her. Whitney was like, does he have the Force or something? I was like, no, he's just pissed.
He has a force.
And she looks like her face looks like he held a blaster up to the top of her head. with
Yeah.
just his
She's
finger.
never been in this situation. I mean, she would rather be on the other side of the glass flicking her bean to this sort of interrogation. Damn. Dude.
This look on her face is, oh, now I know why Cyril cried every time.
Well, and the
This is what I've been doing to people.
The big thing about this scene is that Krennic thinks she's a fucking collaborator, and that she was working with Lonnie to sell information. So now she's becoming the thing that she always hated. She's being treated as a spy, a rebel spy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
amazing.
he's like, when did you give
Part of
Lonnie
the Rebel Alliance.
and a traitor? When did you give? You have to finish the line. When did you give Lonnie your code cert? Like, why would I do that? Who told you about Galen Erso? Why did we find all these files about Jeddah in your fucking shit? And she's like, look, some shit was accidentally sent to me, and I should have told you, but
You're a scavenger.
I do like her thing though, because she's like, yeah, I'm a scavenger, but I had to be. And she shoves it in his face because she knows she's fucked. She's like, look, there was this guy who told you guys all this information, but instead of getting anything useful out of it, predictably, you tortured him to death, and all that information disappeared. Like, I could have used this because I was hunting for Axis, and you guys were just out there doing stupid shit and fucking everything up.
Yep.
I love that the big thing that really gets her in trouble is that somebody sent her the wrong email. They're like, they CC'd her accidentally. that's it. That's what did it. I mean, it would make sense, but
Look, I don't
Yeah.
know how I got added to the Signal chat, but I was there.
I didn't ask to be invited. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's when we get the line like, who else knows? It's
Yeah.
just, it's the most important thing in his fucking world right now. He's got to finish this Death Star. The galaxy can't find out about it because then other worlds will start coming to the rebels' aid, or the rich bureaucrats in the Senate that Palpatine is still a little beholden to him. You know what I mean? To a degree, but a little bit like these guys that fund everything, you know, and are kind of in charge to a degree. But as soon as he has a Death Star, now he can be like, you know what? You don't like what I'm doing? Say goodbye to fucking Dantooine.
Well, Bale says it in the next episode when they bring up the Imperial Energy Program. He's like, yeah, we've been funding that for a decade. So like, it's still all about like funding from the, you know, these lackeys are supporting the Emperor because they don't believe the rumors. They're like, he is not evil. Everybody's stupid. Like, he's making me money. How could he possibly be evil? But when you find out he's making, you know, something that can wipe your entire planet out of existence, like it was never there, then they're like, oh, maybe he is evil. That seems evil.
And now he doesn't have to listen to you.
There's still going to be one fucking guy who's just like, you know, the planet's going to get blown up, but I could probably make a little bit more money before the laser just actually hits the ground. As it's coming up, I could probably make a really big transaction and make $1 billion credits.
If I know which planet's getting blown up, I'm going to grab a bunch of their artifacts and take them with me.
I'm going to collect
buy low on Alderaan.
Oh, shit. One of the other things that was in the shop was a piece of Twi'lek art. You know, the tendril people.
Yeah.
There's a big
George
thing in
Lucas's
Rebels.
daughter.
Yes. There's a what's her fucking name? Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, she's Hera Syndulla. There's an episode of Rebels where Thrawn, voiced by sexy Mad Mikkelsen's brother, is actually studying their whole family lineage and studying their culture and knows all about them just because of that piece of art. So it's a big thing for nerds.
Right, somebody knows about Alderaan and they're like, I'm going to buy all the Alderaanian glass I can find. Right now, it doesn't have much value, but it will soon.
Trust me, it is going to be rare. They've been printing way too many fucking Alderaanian baseball cards, man. You're never going to make money with that collection.
You thought, stupid.
Idiot. Now I want to go buy a bunch of spice.
But the end of the thing here is like, Krennic is like, hey, if you aren't a rebel spy, then you missed your calling. And so she tries to save herself by being like, telling Krennic all about Kleia. And he's like, cool, see you in prison.
Yeah,
we'll
you
take
have
it
to
from
do
here.
something. You need her because Luthen isn't going to be ready to question for days. So
Yeah,
you
'cause
need
she
to get
doesn't know
her.
he's dead.
And then I think she does as soon as, because she can see through that glass now. Like I think he didn't make it reflective.
Yeah.
And I think she knows right when old Ben Mendelsohn gets upset. I think she's like, yep, fuck, Luthen's dead. God damn it.
At the hospital, we've got Hirt and his people trying to go through surveillance footage to find Kleia, which they do.
I love this guy operating. He's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you looking for? I didn't think it was bombs. I saw little poppers. My cousin's got an application with ISP. I got a dog at home named Taco. He wears a pink collar, even though he's a boy. I got him from my mom on a Sunday once, and my brother does not like taco, loves tacos, has a snake named Burrito, strangely enough.
Very casual with this fucking guy that like have you murdered.
Yeah, because Hirt at the last thing, when he's like, my brother has an application with the ISP, he's like, oh, then I guess maybe you should shut the fuck up and help. And he's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't talk about the guy that's next to Hirt. Is that his name?
Yeah.
The guy next to him, dude, when he starts threatening the owner of the hospital, that guy is like just ready to spit polish Hirt right off. He's just like, we could throw you in jail. And he's like, keep on threatening people. I love that shit.
They call us the Sith boys.
Another thing I wouldn't have expected is just this fucking nobody here just having so many awesome moments in this episode. Like it's a Hirt episode.
Yeah.
Like people just kind of bided their time hanging out on the show and their moments were going to come up. It was amazing.
Yep.
He steps up because he's like, I mean, he says it to his little sidekick there. He's like, look, Dedra fucked all this up, but now we're on a fucking wire. And if we fuck up, we're just as done as she is.
Yeah. There's no room for failure in this empire. I mean, it is, guess what? It's run by a Sith. So there's very cannibalistic tactics to a degree. You know, it's all about this guy's I was just talking about that stroking off to him. He's like, if you fail, I'm taking over and I'm not going to fucking fail. I'm getting mine. I'm taking my chance.
Clea gets this comms device out of the wall that's kind of a real rudimentary, going back to
Ferrix.
Nemec. Yes, I kept wanting to say Merrick, and I'm like, that's a different name.
I think I said Merrick last time, and I thought about it. It woke me up at 3 a.m. after we recorded. I was like, Nemec.
But it's like going back to what he said. It's this really rudimentary comms thing, so she can send out basically this space Morse code, which is received by a thing at Willman's house. So he takes it over to K2 and Melshi and Cassian over on Yavin. I love
the ever important Melshi.
I need to learn. So I know we've said this about every game they've played.
I want this game though.
This game seems so much cooler than Sabak
or
like Five Hands.
It's like poker, dominoes, dice.
Yeah,
it had
you're rolling dice. You have little things like little, and it's like you have 10 10s. I have 5 5s. Like what the fuck are we playing?
Here's the good thing about Disney owning this property: they're going to sell you this, and I'll buy it.
And I'll pay for it.
Star Wars one, like the old Star Wars universe, George Lucas, you had to wait for a nerd to rewatch this scene 500 times and then make up some rules, and then you had to fucking print it off of some fucking back alley website. Now, like, you want the original version or the deluxe version where we teach you how to play Cobra Panther 5 hands?
Yeah, we only sell it at Disneyland though, so you've got to go to Disneyland.
What move is that? Oh, he's an elephant.
But yeah, Willman goes in, tells him about the message.
Sorry. They should Disneyland, the Star Wars land should have a fucking casino with all these fucking games. Dude. Zak, I want some Sabak. I want some 5 hands. It might be like the casino from National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, but I don't care.
You're in there, like, you get kicked out, and it's like, how'd you get kicked out of the Star Wars casino? I was recording stuff, but I wasn't trying to cheat. I was trying to learn how to play the games and take it home.
I don't know how I was losing money. That's all I want to know is how I was losing money.
We will jump back and forth a little bit here, but I'll try to cover a lot of stuff. So Willman comes in, tells him about the message. They're sitting there having a debate about it, and
Pulse
then another
code instead of Morse code.
Yeah, but also it's not even like a full thing because the Imperial lady who intercepts it is like, or no, it's
K2,
it's K2 who overhears it here. He's like, it's not complete enough to decode, but I'm assuming that's something you learned.
Yeah, you memorized it.
So I don't remember. I mean, we just did Rogue One. The episode just came out in January, but like, is Andor not friendly with K2 until like later? Because he's really not, like, other than hanging out with him here and stuff, he's a kind of a dick.
I don't think he's that friendly in Rogue One.
Okay, I always just remember them being buddies.
Like, I don't remember them being buddies, to be quite honest with you.
I think K2 is more buddy than anything, but yeah, I don't think it's that reluctant partnership, you know?
Because Andor's really fucking mean to him throughout this entire thing. Like,
he doesn't trust him. He got choked out by one.
He's the one who brought him.
All KX
units look alike. Hey, I'm going to bring you into this, and I'm going to make you a part of this. Now I hate you. Go fuck yourself.
Well, he's about to be glad that he did that, though.
But he's not even that glad about it. And we'll get there.
But he's also he's more like, he's not mean. He's just kind of dickish. But he lets them play fucking space domino poker with him.
Yeah.
So it's not like he shut him out. But I do remember because K2 is so sarcastic and just very like Spock like to use another franchise. He's like, oh, do you know the probability of her using the gun on you? It's hot. It's very hot. Cassian doesn't say shit in Rogue One. He's just like, will you shut the fuck up?
I mean, we get it coming up here where he's like, do you have any idea how many protocols we've ignored or commands we've ignored? Yeah, orders,
I have that one written down because they go out on a.
He's like, I don't want to fucking hear it, dude. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, 17. Turn the radio off. 18.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the best.
I think it rings true.
It's the best like comedy relief because it's so dry and it's not in your face. It's not 3PO getting his head dragged across the fucking Genoshan battlefield and oh, what a drag. Like, it's really fucking good, solid writing comedy.
And it's ready and great delivery.
Alan,
great delivery from Two Dicks.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get to it at the end of this, but I felt bad for K2, especially after he comes in to help them. But
yeah,
meanwhile, after Andor takes off there, the ISB puts out this image of Clea, and it's like, put it everywhere you possibly can.
Hey, you can
like, what do I say?
Sorry, if you're passing out little holocrons of her, I'll take one.
Yeah.
There was something you wanted to talk about. I interrupted you.
Oh, you're good. The guy is like, Here is like, so we put it like murder, sedition, both. And Partagaz has the most sinister idea for this thing. He's like, no, she's diseased. She escaped the hospital, and we have to find her before thousands of people die, because there are supporters of the rebellion out there. So if they see murder, sedition from the Empire, they're like, oh, well, she did something against the Empire.
Heck yeah, man, murder and sedition is cool. I love that shit.
If they see your kids might die, then they're going to call. Right?
Somebody think of the children.
Right after that, Hirt goes down, talks to Dedra, tells her Luthen's dead. Half of this episode is people finding out Luthen's dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I came to you for advice. And she's like, right. No, I believe you. You're not here to entrap me.
This is a test. Because he comes at it wrong. He's like, what is it that Krennic's all worried about? Like, oh, did he send you? Did Krennic tell you to say that? I bet. Yeah, like I'm going to fall for that shit.
Clea is too smart to go where they're looking for her. So, and they talk about this, like how they can't send messages because we're scanning every signal. And it's like, actually, go back to the Ferrix Files, which is a show I would watch starring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Trust no one.
Spooky shit happening in space, and Gillian Anderson. It's like, this is all science-based. These are robots. Like, there's no magic shit. And then all the spooky shit that happens is because of the Force.
No, I mean, yeah, right. The Force is real.
Scully. Scully. This guy was killed with a lightsaber. Lightsabers aren't real.
The whole Gorman thing was a setup. It was an inside job.
Gorman and the Imperial Energy Project and all that would send fucking Mulder off the deep end.
Oh yeah, he's gonna need more red yarn.
Krennic could be there. He'd just be smoking.
I was wondering who the Death Stick man was gonna be.
Oh, it's definitely Krennic.
It's Krennic for sure.
Cyril Karn would be the Krychek.
See, too deep for me. You lost me at smoking, man.
Who are the lone gunmen though?
Lone gunmen. Oh shit. Wilman,
Andor,
Vel, and Andor, Wilman, and Vel.
They get their own spinoff, but it's only like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So like he goes to check the files. She's like, "Hey, just so you know, you're probably too fucking late, dude." And that's kind of the last we see of her for a while.
For now.
Draven,
I hope it ends well for her.
Yeah, me too.
On Yavin, Draven is questioning Wilman about how they went running to help out Luthen because nobody here trusts Luthen. And Wilman says something we hear probably 4 or 5 times in this episode. It's like, none of this would be here. None of you would be here if it wasn't for Luthen.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times in this episode and the next one, which I do have kind of an issue with. It's very repetitive. Luthen is dead. He died for this information. We don't believe the information. You wouldn't be here without him. We say that like 6 times.
And they even reuse some of the exact same dialogue. Like, oh, you're here to just run him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it is repetitive. You're right.
If I had a complaint about this last batch, it's that.
But doesn't it feel almost wrong to criticize this show? Like I'm going to, but like thinking about just like even that, like, oh, I don't want to say anything bad about it. It's my baby.
You know what it feels like? Like the last episode has a really good conclusion that helps lead into Rogue One.
Sure.
But like it feels like this episode is the last episode and the last episode is just the connector.
Right. Okay.
Like it's your Lego that connects to the other Lego. Like
that's actually really well said. I didn't even think about that. This is your climax.
It also feels like the
rest
Wire
is
did
cuddling.
This. Game of Thrones did this. The penultimate episode of the season is where the big shit happens, and everything else was kind of the fallout, like kind of
right.
The denouement. So that this ends on a cliffhanger, but if you finish off the action set piece, if you bring it in from the next episode to this one, then it is a perfect penultimate episode where the big things happen, and the rest is just kind of
yeah. We need to breathe.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I think we're just a little spoiled too because all the arcs and the first season kind of end on a lot of action.
Yep.
And this can't because it literally has to back up to Rogue One.
We had our big battle.
What are we gonna have? Andor has to have a big space fight right before he lands on.
I wrote down shit. Katrine. Is it
Kafrene.
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 That was an F, not a
Yeah.
T. I write like shit.
That's why I type.
That's why I keep it all right here, and it never fails me ever.
It's like a sponge trap.
It's like a Shark Tank in there, just flows in and flows out willingly.
Do not go in there.
Woo! A whole lot of it's not Snowflake going on in my brain at any given time.
So here it ends up going to Luthen's shop. That's where they find out about the broadcast stuff. I love this lady who's been decoding the broadcast, the code machine.
She's in love with it.
We've seen this in other movies and stuff too. She's like, it's actually really genius. They tapped into this tower and they've been using Imperial broadcast signals for who knows how long. And she's like
Officer
laughing.
Hand job is like, no, shut up, dude. This is not the time to be appreciating this.
You do not have to hand it to the rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I laughed out loud at his like,
Yeah, I did too.
Not right now, dude.
There's nothing else to say. Just shake your head like you ain't gonna want to keep doing that.
Look, it's a cut scene, but
jail cell.
It's a cut scene, but here just grabbed me by the balls outside and was like, "Stop making light of this." So Cassian and Wilman are orbiting Coruscant. I love KX's thing, or no, Cassian and Melshi. Sorry. But I love KX's thing, or K's thing, where he's like, "Oh, there was a parade there, and there was 200 KX units, and the Emperor was there." And Cassian's like, "Yeah, sounds awesome."
Yeah, great. 200 of these things, not a good look. That's not fun. The Emperor made everybody throw a parade for it's my birthday. I want 200 KX units to march. I will also be playing a round of golf later on Naboo.
But how will we pay for it? We'll cut off space Medicaid to that shitty granny in the hospital, the one that's scatting everywhere.
We don't need any sort of flight controllers, so if a U-wing comes in all hot, we don't mind.
There have been all these weird crashes lately. I can't explain. No reason.
Probably the rebels. It's the rebels' fault.
It's the rebels.
The rebels made us very understaffed. You understand?
It's the fault of the illegal aliens.
It's all because of the Nemodians.
Oh, damn! It is those damn Nemodians.
Yeah, that joke's got layers.
Tariffs.
That joke's got layers, right? Because the Nemodians have those terrible Asian accents, and
we gotta blame China.
But so they send a signal to Clea. The tech person intercepts it, so they kind of know where they are. They know they have narrowed it down to 3 floors in this building. Cassian goes in to pick her up. K2 stays on the ship.
He's going to pick up
shows
Luthen.
up.
That's the funny thing.
Yes.
Because the whole time, because even Draven, he's like, what? So Luthen fucking snaps his fingers and you run to go get him. And it's like, yeah. And, he knocks the door. He's like, where the fuck is Luthen? And that's when she just kind of looks at him like, where the fuck do you think, dude?
There's a great moment of Clea kind of losing her shit while she's waiting for a response because she's sending it out. She doesn't know if anybody on the other end will even get it.
Yeah.
And she's like pacing. She's got the blaster. She's like got her head in her hands. It's like very tense and sad. And and remember, we didn't know Clea's fate at this point of the show, so anything could happen.
Yeah. I think it's one of the first, and if I'm not wrong, the only time we see her not together. Like she's very falling apart right here, and rightfully so. And I kept thinking about that, Classy. I was like, well, I mean, they could have her live. They could have her die. I mean, she could just fucking broadcast, like very Rogue One, broadcast the information to somebody and then, get clipped.
Blow it up. Yeah.
I was surprised that some of the people who lived, but also the way they set it up is like, well, they're just on Yavin with the rebels, and that's not what the movies are about. The movies are about the Skywalkers and the swords and the magic, and so
they could easily live.
They're there, but they could be a part of the assault on the Death Star. They could be a part of whatever. They're not important to the other because the movies are the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So.
And that is very fair. And that's what I thought was going to happen with the Rogue One characters is they would live on in the background and there'd be like, oh, what was Cassian up to during the Empire Strikes Back and all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect them to all get burnt. But I will say though, like we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it kind of doesn't make sense that Vel and Wilman aren't with Cassian on those Rogue One adventures, to be quite honest with you. Like, why would it?
Because it
At least one of
escalates.
them.
It just goes so quick. They don't have time.
It does make sense in the way that this all ends because he goes off on his own, and then it's just like boom, boom, boom for Rogue One. They're back on Yavin doing whatever they need to do there because
doing
they're
important work.
Vel is very much following orders now. She's still regretful about what happens to Luthen, and she's very much like, that's not what I was ordered to do. I'm here doing this. And
Yeah,
the rebellion doesn't give a shit what your personal connections are. The rebellion's like, you guys were friends and that's great, but you're on that mission, he's on that mission.
That's fair.
She delivered the line that we talked about. We opened with like, hey, Andor gives it to her, and her response is like, this once. Like, I'll drink to him once, but then he's out of my memory because he wasn't a great person. He did great things.
You know what's funny? It's like Jack. It didn't hit me till now. That's what that was. I thought she just didn't drink. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll have a drink with you this once," but that's really stupid. Yours thing is actually much more correct. And
that was just my thought about it.
It makes perfect sense. It makes no sense that she was like, I gave up drinking. I'm not like an AA or anything, but I'm busy. I'm working, but just this once I'll have a drink with you.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not admitting I have a problem. I'm just saying, but I don't need a drink right now.
I'm technically on the clock.
See,
I'm
fine. I don't need a drink.
I don't drink because I have to. I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, we're not in a rebellion. We've got time.
I'm bored.
I did write a note that with the whole back and forth between Draven and Cassian and him going to get Luthen and them not wanting him to, he's all in on the rebellion, but he is still a pain in their ass.
Yeah.
So in this episode, the next one, they're like, he's a great fighter. We were happy to have him, but god damn it, this guy's a fucking pain in the ass. And it continues to Rogue One, which I love.
He brought everybody together.
And part of it is because he has such a tie to Luthen and they don't trust him. That's what I got from it. They're like, he's useful and we like to have him here, but he's still part of that old rebellion and we're trying to build something new here.
And I think he still operates as a very not nearly as much, but very Luthen style shit sometimes.
Sure.
The going off and doing a test run so he can get out of there and yada yada, and just not telling him what he's doing.
I just thought about it because I was thinking about this in the days leading up to this episode. Or this arc, but I was like, well, at least we'll see the TIE Avenger come back.
No, yeah.
Where is that? What is that all about?
Did he leave it again?
He left it on. Oh no, he didn't. We don't know.
We
don't know. He flew off.
Right.
He flew off with Bix and Willman and.
Yeah, he got off of Yavin. He went to Mina Rao. He picked them up, and then he took it to wherever it needed to go. I was just kind of expecting it to come back.
I'm wondering if Rebels will get there and talk about it.
Is it Rebels over?
No, yeah, it is. I just don't remember it. Like I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember if this specific. I know that this ship makes an appearance. I know for a fact because it even pops in. They're like, "Whoa! Since when do they have hyperdrive?"
Maybe they really broke it down and used it for hyperdrive for the X-Wings. Maybe they built up their X-Wing armada using tech from that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so K2 stays behind on the ship.
These were specifically designed for the rebels to be able to keep up with this fucking sort of thing.
That's what he's saying.
Because I want you to explain it if I was wrong.
Yeah,
but that's what he's saying though. They built. You're saying they were built so the rebels could keep up.
They were built before this. They were built before. They were built. I think I can say like 6 BBY.
Okay.
So and he stole it after. So it's not that.
All right.
All right. Well, now I got to watch those goddamn cartoons. I'm just gonna Control F on the scripts and search for TIE Avenger and watch those episodes. I like that ship, but
yeah.
But so yeah, this TAC team goes in to intercept Cassian and Melshi. They scramble the comms, which leads to K2 having to go out.
Can we talk about the main guy who I'm sure has a great fucking Imperial name, but he's all cockney, isn't it? We're going to fucking bust in the door. We're going to kick in some fucking skulls and we're going to arrest these rebels, isn't it? Oi, look lively, soldier. Wear this fucking vest, you puke.
Dude, we get a lot of British accents, obviously, because they're shooting it in England and with cheaper actors and whatnot. But I mean, this arc in particular, I was like, this is so, like, speaking of Imperial, like, there are so many heavy British, just like, oh, what are you doing over there, huh?
It's perfect because these guys are the Cogni guys are the ones that would be doing the footwork for the Imperials, for the actual like higher up British people.
Oh, the fancy Britishes.
The
Yeah, that
fancy
makes sense.
fancy British. Because this guy ain't fucking fancy. You can tell by the way he's got his mustache and he's got it all growing out up there and whatnot and what have you.
So this guy's name is Andrew Brooke. His name in the show is Gariel, Gharial. So we don't get his first name, just Sergeant Gariel. But he's most known for Children of Men, but he just plays soldier.
Oh.
So I'm gonna look for him, and he's gonna be my favorite actor now.
Yeah.
Oh fuck
Yeah.
you, Clive Owen! You can't be taking that pregnant lady off of with you.
Yeah, it's great. This might be a Star Wars first, but like one of these guys had almost like a skull cap. It was like a do-rag without a flap in the back.
Okay.
It looked so like SWAT. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what to go back to what we said earlier, they have that the anti-vigilante task squad vibe, and that's exactly what it is, right? You know what?
These guys go in, they do wet work, they bust shit up. You know, like, yeah, they're trying to take these guys alive, but they're also they're ready to go rock and roll.
And that building kind of looks like the projects. Like there are because it's State House. It's in the ghetto. Let's be real. So
yeah, I think it became a ghetto in the last 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was on level 500 something out of 5,000, and we've established in the past that the higher you go, the better
I think it was like 5,009 or something like that. I think it was up there. Well,
I didn't write it down. I threw out a number that was stuck in my head.
I should have had the subtitles on, but I think it was in the 5,000 still. Because I mean, you can see where he lands is not that far down. If he was in the 500s, which is way past 1313, like it is, you are going really fucking far down, and it's not going to go well.
Not surprisingly, this dude did a whole bunch of voices for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, of course he did. Oh, I found out
the fucking dragon over there. Bloody hell.
Genevieve O'Reilly also voiced Mon Mothma in the Clone Wars. Jimmy Smits did not voice Bail Organa in the Clone Wars or Rebels. It was Phil
Benjamin
Lamar. Benjamin Bratt. Phil Lamar, old Mad TV guy.
Yeah, he's done so much voice work. That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, Genevieve O'Reilly just fucking picked it up at Rogue One, voiced through Rebels and anything in Clone Wars that they needed. And then here comes Andor, and they're like, yep.
Oh, and speaking of
Still
Genevieve O'Reilly, we didn't really talk. Well, I guess we don't really see her till the next one, but she's gone. Like the character is full Mon Mothma original trilogy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The hair, the dress, like the clothing, everything.
The hair is because she don't have that fancy creme.
So since you brought it up, so Genevieve O'Reilly, beautiful woman, that hairstyle in Rogue One did her no favors, especially after seeing the style that she had in the first season of Andor.
Yeah.
This finale, it looks way better. It's not super like poofy, wiggy out there. It just looks naturally more like she styled it that way.
Go get some of those stank melons from the jungle and like make some like tonic to put in your hair, you know, some hair gel. There's got to be something on this planet that you can fucking use.
I was dreading the Mon Mothma hairstyle at the end of the season, but it worked because Rogue One, boy, it was rough.
Yeah.
Well, in Rogue One, it probably was a wig because you said it looked very wiggy. And this, she's like, look, I'm giving a little more dedication to the show that has paid me millions of dollars, presumably, and not thousands of dollars. Like
she did some voice work on some. Oh, Diablo 3, I think, maybe even 4.
They scramble the comms, so K2 is like, "Well, I guess I got to go help out." I fucking love when he's walking across this bridge, and this dude's like, "Hey, are you with? Oi, are you with us?" And he's like, "Nope." Bam, and just socks this dude off of a bridge.
Anybody else want a Wilhelm scream?
Yeah,
I know we don't get him anymore.
I thought he was gonna actually go undercover. He was be like, "Oh yeah, I was sent in by Bud." No, he does not give a shit. He's just like, "Fuck you."
Well, because he knows he's like, these blasters aren't gonna stop me.
That's true.
But so yeah, Cassian gets to Clea. He's like, "Hey, it's me," and she's like, "It would be you, wouldn't it? You motherfucker?" Because we find out
last
later
we talked, you said you were leaving.
Yeah, and you said that I wouldn't be able to. And also, we find out later that they haven't spoken in a year. The last time he spoke to Luthen was in the last story arc.
Right.
So I love that he gets in there and like talks to her, and she's just yelling words. Like she's like, remember this information: Galen Erso, Kyber, Jeddah, Death Star. He's like, I don't know what you're yelling. This is not helping.
Down. Shake her. She's being hysterical.
She shakes him. She grabs him by the jacket and gets right up on his face and tells him, "You motherfucker, you piece of shit." And I was like,
he questioned something about Luthen. I can't remember what it was, but he said he questioned Luthen a little bit, and she's like, "You motherfucker! Like I had to kill that guy."
And she's he's like, she's like, "Where are you going to take me that I'm safe?" And he's like, "Yavin." And she's like, yeah, "Okay, all right," because Yavin's a big fan of Luthen. All right, but I just really like this tactical team moves in. And that's the end of the episode. It's like, oh, fuck.
I literally just went, no, like in my apartment to nobody because I wasn't expecting it to end there. So, but
I felt it coming. The music sounded like the episode was about to end, but I was like, that's not how they do this show. So, thank God we're not week to week.
Yeah. Oh, I've been pissed. Waiting a whole 7 days for that.
Thank the Force.
Thank the Force.
Speaking of her rambling off random things to him, the name of the next episode is Jeddah, Kyber, Erso.
So actually, I realized some stray thoughts I didn't mention in the last one. Wilman walking with a limp because his nuts are heavy, probably. Another thing I kind of was like,
no. His nuts are not heavy. He's still hanging out with Drina, so his nuts are nice and light.
Like a couple of flapjacks.
That was a little kind of a shortcut. Is everybody gets hurt one way or another in between the story arcs, and I was like, they use your imagination how it could happen. Cinta crashed the space Uber when she was spinning around, dropping take home. I remember she crashed the Uber into the mountain. Cassian had the blaster, the wound that wouldn't heal, and that woman's got a lip.
Maybe LucasArts or Lucasfilm Disney was like, all right, Tony, instead of the 5 seasons, we'll let you do 2. But you got to set us up with a bunch of cool stuff in between that we can write comic books about.
Oh, you have possibilities of spin-offs, too, if you really want. I don't think we're going to get it because they're not going to fund it. But comics
Bix and somebody else, I can't remember, I was reading a thing, they've expressed interest in being involved in any kind of like spin-off series involving their characters. And also, by the way, I'll get to it at the end because Jack sent a meme earlier that I thought of very much at the end of this last episode. I was just we'll get to that.
Say the word.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get there.
I had a random thought when we were speaking earlier. I 100% bought into Classy's idea that it was going to be killing off all the non-Rogue One people when we get there, and like I'm kind of okay it wasn't, because the amount of people that end up living I'm okay with,
because it was well written and the reason they lived and the reason that the people died all made sense.
Sure.
If it was just like we have to save this guy with plot armor because we like him, it would be stupid. But like Vel's character turn after Cinto is killed and getting really into the rebellion and following orders and stuff, it makes sense that she's around. And these things, and Bix leaving to protect Andor or to keep him in the rebellion because the rebellion needs him. It makes sense, Like it all follows a thread. It's not just like, well, we like this person, let's save them for another show.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. It was thought out instead of just being a little cheap. Like, well, we'll just put them over here in another corner of the galaxy until we figure out what to do with them.
Well, Bix got shot in the face, but the Force healer helped her. Don't worry.
She's still hot. Don't worry. She's still hot.
It wouldn't have done anything. I was surprised at how small of a story this was, these last 3, because I thought it was this big epic battle, some big epic whatever. No, Clay gets burned. She needs to get pulled out, and then they got to just figure out where they stand. And that's the story.
I mean, the big battle is the beginning of the next episode, and it's literally a small-scale tactical battle. Actually, the big battle really is what happens when he gets back, and it's all political posturing and talking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's the big important part. But like, so it starts right where the last one ended with hers, like with Clea being like, I'm going to be a prisoner on Yavin. He's like, no, you'll be a hero. They'll love us when we get there. I wouldn't worry about
A
it.
hero's welcome. They're going to put rose petals on the street for you.
You'll be greeted as a liberator, Clay.
Have you ever had stank melon juice? It's fermented.
There will be a young sailor waiting to like tip you over and kiss you.
Against your will.
Yeah.
You ever think, did that guy know that lady from that famous photo? Or
I don't think so. They've done a bunch of research on it, and I don't think they knew each other. I think it was just like, gotta find your best gal and give her a smooch. You can't grab her by the gams.
There's been an article about it. Yeah, that random guy just grabbed a lady and just sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
oh, this is the best gal in arm's reach.
I'd like to kiss a fella, but they don't allow that here.
I've done enough of that in France.
France was lovely.
So yeah, Melshi goes out. There's the TAC team. So they're cornered in the room. Andor smartly has him keep the door open because he wants to close it, but we know that bottlenecks you even more, right?
Yeah, he's like, we're trapped. And he's like, well, instead of what though? And he's like, well, at least right now we can take some pop shots, you know.
Well, now we can at least try to 300 them because if the door is closed, we don't know what's coming through. Kay comes in.
Sorry, this place is so ghetto. There's no fucking fire escape. There's no second entrance. Like, this is the death trap.
Yeah. Hey, projects, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
let people die.
There was a fire escape, but they locked it. So, but yeah, Kay comes in, bashing more dudes, just tossing people around.
They do throw a stunner
They
grenade.
do, yeah, and it's
cool.
It's right under, basically right underneath Clea, so she takes the brunt of it. Cassian gets hit pretty good, but Melshi's kind of behind a wall, so he's able to defend them for a second to at least keep these guys from just rushing in.
Yeah, at least cover fire. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he could.
And then I see something I didn't know I needed, which is K2SO with a big gun.
Dude, he goes through these guys. Like, I mean, it's all. I really wanted to see him punch a guy, like very Skeleton Crew, where Shmi fucking punches a guy just off a fucking camera. That's what I wanted from K2. Just like throw a guy in the air, like get the hell out of here. But they're fun. He kicks a guy into the elevator. It's great.
Yeah, he comes in and shoots the one guy that's at the flank. He grabs Hirt and like he's holding him in front of him as like human shield, and fucking mustache dude is just like, I could not care less.
Yeah,
and just lights this dude up, and we just get to see this dude's dangling corpse still getting used as a shield.
It's a bad way to go. Not the worst way to go in this fucking program, but it's a bad way.
It actually made me think of Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One in the hallway scene. Is K2SO?
Oh god,
dudes, because he was throwing them up and down behind him and shit.
I didn't even think about that. It's a good parallel. Yeah, you're right, man. That's great.
And he like comes around the corner, and they're all fucked up, and he's just like, Cassian, I've cleared a path. Like, everything that Alan Tudyk gets to deliver in this episode is hilarious, in an episode that's not funny.
No.
Right.
Like,
Right. It's the perfect blend of that humor. And the hardest part, it'd have to be not falling in love with him. I mean, like, just anytime he like, hello, I cleared a path. Like, yeah, you did. Get over here, you big lug. I'm gonna wrap my arms around you.
And we do get a little appearance from Saw. I was hoping to see more Saw.
Yeah, we wanted to see Saw more. But I thought we weren't going to see Saw. We saw C.
We saw Saw a little bit.
He's full on lost it. I mean, this is hours or 24 hours before Jeddah in Rogue One, but like he's just
this is the suit that has the fucking gas. He's just
man. You sent people and I've turned them and are you trying to spy on me? Am I spying on you? Who's spying on who?
We know you're on Jeddah. He's like, you know nothing. You think you know
where I am.
You don't know where I am.
Look behind you. I wasn't there, but you looked, didn't you?
You stole a Star Destroyer. No.
Nope. The keys were in it. Ask your partisan lawyers.
When he hangs up on them, and Mon just looks over to Bale like, oh, that guy.
That guy is a little high.
I'm glad he's on our side, but I'm glad he's not like on our side. If you know what I mean? Like,
back to Rebels. There's a part where like it's a big thing is like how he does things versus how Mon needs them done. And Mon's correct, by the way. You need the public's favor. You have to win them over.
well,
You
and
can't
also
give balls away.
he's drawing more attention to the rebellion by stealing ships and intercepting transports, and they're like, stop doing this, you're fucking everything up. And he's like, I'll do what I want, go fuck yourself.
I did it my way. You know that song? It's quite a banger.
whatever, I do what I want. Hang up.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I actually understand the political implications of that song. I know they play into the Death Star.
All I wanted was a Pepsi. Just one Pepsi.
Have you heard of Rage Against the Machine? I know I'm mostly machine, but I'm still in it.
I'm raging against Darth Vader right now.
The Empire, all those fuckers in that team, they would play listen to Rage and be like, yeah, this is great, man. This is great music. They have rebel sympathies. Man, fuck this band.
They're gonna be like, yeah, I liked Rage Against the Machine before they got really political and into the rebellion. Their early shit when they weren't so political.
But yeah, so they find out Andor's coming in hot, and I think it's Bale that's like on a stolen ship on another unauthorized mission, and they're like, just can we worry about that after
And
he
you
lands?
got
Or...
Admiral Raddick, the Mon Calamari, and he's like,
okay,
so
who's
he's
this fucking asshole? There's in the council thing. There's this guy that's just like, Luthen's a piece of shit.
He's just one of the senators that defected.
Okay, I thought maybe he was a guy.
No, he is. I just don't know him. I just don't know what he's probably in the original trilogy for like a half a second, if at all. And then he's probably in Rogue One. Absolutely, dude. He might as well be yawning at this fucking meeting.
Yeah. Like, hey, the Emperor is making a super weapon. And also unicorns are real, right? You know what?
He's making a what? Did you say so? Oh man, we are just blowing through nap time.
Cassian, we have a mission for you. I heard Santa Claus is going to be going around the world delivering presents. If you could stop him.
One of the times that Cassian says, you owe Luthen everything because he helped build this. The guy literally goes, "Oh, please!" And just wanted to punch him in the fucking mouth.
Yeah,
go watch the first season.
We're here. This is happening now.
Pull the VHS out like Spaceballs.
Yeah, it's been happening for 3 years. Like that season was 3 years ago. You've had time.
I can't remember the name that Admiral Radish says, but someone's like, "Where's?" Maybe it's Draven, but they're like, "Where's he?" He's like, "You're lucky. He would go down there and just shoot that fucking thing down if he was here."
Merrick,
and I believe Merrick is the one with the mustache in Rogue One.
Okay,
who ends up going as Scarif.
I like how they're coming in, and K2 is like, I suspect we're going to be shot down as an enemy probe. And Andor's like, we'll just listen to what they say, and then we'll be safe. And he's like, wow, obeying orders is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Or no, it's because they say to stop, or they say to answer, and he doesn't answer. And he's like, well, disobeying orders is refreshing. That's what it starts with. Yeah. And then later on, he's like, wow, actually obeying orders is cool.
Is fucking great.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll say I was kidnapped.
Yeah. See, I'm going to say I was kidnapped.
K2 saw Top Gun. This other guy can't watch the fucking season 1 of Andor.
Yeah,
he's waving at the other fighter. You know.
Listen. I know we're all busy, but I brought in a 4K TV and a Blu-ray player. Okay, everybody's gonna sit here and watch this important shit. You're gonna watch season 1 of Andor. You're gonna watch Top Gun.
I would give anything to watch Andor and K2 play the volleyball in little fucking jean shorts doing the high five follow through. That would yes, that would tickle me.
K2 high five somebody and just rips his hand off.
You got Luthen playing
squirting blood.
Your ego's writing checks. Your ego's writing checks that your body can't cash, kid.
Goose didn't make it out of the volleyball game because K2 high-fived him.
Oh no, he's dead. Was he a friend of yours? Get better friends.
We have another laugh moment with him because like they get this armed greeting when they arrive. And it's like, who else is on this ship? So K2 comes up and bends way over and is like, hello.
Hello there.
Hello there. He got it from me, just so you know.
I said it first.
I know we never met, but it got to him. Somebody told him. I knew a guy that knew a guy that knew him.
So Andor goes in,
7
recaps
degrees
episode-
of separation from Kenobi.
Andor goes in and recaps episode 10 to the council. That one guy says it's just a paranoid fantasy or whatever. And Cassian has what I think is the appropriate reaction. He fucking loses it. He's like, do any of you even know Luthen besides Mon?
Yeah.
He's like, I know him. I know he's not a great guy. I know the good. I know the bad. But again, as we've said, none of you would be here without him. So you keep his fucking name out of your mouth.
That was the line I liked too, though. He's like, he's like, dude, I know the good, but that also means I know the bad. Like, I'm telling you everything about it. I'm taking that into consideration.
Like, I agree with what you guys are saying, but also you need to fucking listen.
Linda.
Great speech. Great performance from Diego Luna.
Yes,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he hasn't really had a speech. I mean, we've talked about season 1 especially, but this is a show with fucking tremendous speeches. Diego Luna really hasn't had one.
You're right. Actually, I didn't think about that till now.
And this is a good one.
Other than the Senate speech, there aren't any real speeches in this one the way there were in the first
Oh,
one.
I don't know. You do get Saw. You're here. Think about it. You're in this moment.
Oh,
Huff it.
But they're all-
Breathe it in.
but they're all very, like, I guess that's a little longer because he's got the whole story leading up to it and stuff. But most of them, like all the stuff Luthen says, he says really powerful shit, but it's like short snippets. It's not.
I want you to huff this and then go to Gorman and find a woman. It is going to feel so good when you ejaculate.
Fucking Saw and Willman on a ship heading to another planet, and he's like, "We can't stop here. This is those little bats from the Thing country.
Can't stop here. This is Minot country.
Minot country." Thank you. Damn it, I had it in my head, and then as soon as I started saying it, I was like, "Oh no, the name disappeared."
As your lawyer, I advise you to take your half of the sunshine acid.
I'm looking at the other way. They're fucking high as balls flying to the galaxy, and on the soundtrack, it's Holiday Road.
Roll them up.
Dude, fucking Saw and Willman in like a Fear and Loathing esque.
Did they pay you to fuck that polar bear? Did they pay you to fuck that wampa?
The fuck did he say to me?
Impossible to walk in this muck. No footing at all.
Tell me about the robot feet.
Finish your fucking story, man. I'd watch it so hard.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they have their little bullshit political debate. It's, Bale doesn't want to believe anything. Mon believes stuff because she knows Luthen, but also she's, been betrayed. That fucking douchebag guy's in the corner being a wet blanket. And then there's this other lady, Senator Palmo or something, who's like, this all sounds like bullshit, but maybe we think about it. Like, she's kind of in the middle.
I big ups to your boy Benjamin Bratt because he kills it. Missing Jimmy Smits though. Because he didn't have this kind of moment. He played, obviously he had lines and so it is, but he didn't have this kind of performance. Benjamin Bratt's killing it, and that's great. And I'm really happy they didn't fucking face him.
Yeah, Jimmy Smits really missed out, though. This is like the moment for Bail Organa. It's like, I've played this character for 25 years, but I'll give up the big moment to that guy from Miss Congeniality.
Whatever he was doing, come on. I love that movie, but you've got to have a better Benjamin Bratt in the fucking chamber than that.
That's what I got.
Well, and I believe he only had like one scene in Rogue One, didn't he? Like when he said, "Hey, I have somebody I can trust, and it's somebody that you might have heard of."
Yeah,
winky.
Wipe these droids and shit like that. Oh, that's that's episode 3.
That's the episode 3.
Blood in, blood out.
I was gonna do. Come on,
Catwoman from 2004.
You could have stopped at blood in, blood out. You would have had a great fucking taste in the listener's mouth.
I got a good one to end it with, and I'm an idiot for not thinking of it. No, this is a good one.
Oh, okay.
I'm an idiot for not thinking of it right off the bat. Hold on, let me do my normal thing.
Oh, yes.
I can't reach. God damn it. Demolition Man.
Of course.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Hot dogs.
Okay. All right.
Hot dogs.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm sorry, Benjamin.
Because, like I said, I love Miss Congeniality, but that shouldn't be your first one.
It's the first one because when he popped up in the first story arc, Whitney went, "That's Benjamin Bratt from Miss Congeniality." So that's all I've had in my head since then.
Of course she did.
Yeah, I wanted to grab my 4K of Demolition Man, but I can't reach. It's up there on the top shelf. It's on the top shelf where it belongs.
We'll have to
Top
get
shelf
there. That's a Patreon and a fucking half.
So we Rogue One is starting because we find out that Tivik has been sending messages from Kafrene, but he'll only talk to Cassian.
He's one of Saul's partisans.
Did y'all remember who this person was, like off the top of your head? Because I thought you did. Because I wrote, "Who the hell is Kafrene?" To be honest with you,
I remembered. I wouldn't have known his name was Tivik. I remembered that it started with Cassian on that planet talking to that dude, a planet that looks like Neon from Starfield.
Yeah.
But the only reason I remembered it was Kafrene was because we talked about it in the first arc, because the password to steal the TIE Avenger for that 24-hour period or whatever was Kafrene.
Yep.
Oh,
and so Jack and I had a conversation about Kafrene.
Which is exactly why
after we recorded, I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, the Rings of Kafrene."
I think when I was looking it up, it was like, that's where Andor meets Tivik. And I was like, oh, okay. So when it popped up, it's not information that was in my brain up until we talked about it that, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Okay.
4 weeks ago.
And also that little Cassian speech right at the beginning of this season when he talks to that woman who's like, "Hey, this is, you're coming home. This is what you're doing is right." So, he got a little something.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
Vel gets visited by Mon Mothma, and basically, again, Luthen's dead. Cassian's grounded, which I laughed about, even though I understand it means that his plane. It actually made me go. I had a whole existential moment because I was like, "Is that where that comes from?"
Oh, you fucking grounded! Get to your fucking room. With that one out here zipping around on the planes.
Is kids getting grounded just like parents reappropriating military speak for you can't fly your plane anymore?
The term grounded was around before airplanes.
No, well, that's what I was about to ask. Then what did they call it before airplanes existed? Why would they be grounded? From what?
Before airplanes existed, it was you have to work an extra shift in the mines this week.
your mind. Your mind for the weekend, young man.
Willman finds out Cassian's dead. There's a moment between him and Willman finds out Luthen's dead.
Whoa, this guy's a fucking mind reader.
And there's a moment between him and Cassian. Draven there's another message from Kafrene, so he goes to Cassian, but not before Vel goes in there, so Mon had basically been like, "I want you to go spy on Cassian and find out if you think this story's true."
You know Cassian, you knew Luthen, you've been through something, you can read him better than anybody.
But Vel is done with this cloak and dagger shit, because she goes in there to talk to him, and they have their drink for Luthen, and then she's like, "Look, Mon wants me to find out if the story you have is true. Can you just tell me the story?"
Yeah.
I'm not here to play secret games and give you passwords.
Did I just see Classy take a sip from a tequila bottle with a straw in it?
It's actually a whiskey bottle from Dell. But yes, I can't. I don't want to get booze on my mask, so I put the straw inside the bottle.
Cheers.
I mean,
for Luther.
I mean, I get it.
This is Devil's River Rye Whiskey from San Antonio.
It is funny watching you drink it out of a bottle through a straw, though.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It's not just me.
It's booze delivery system, whatever works.
But it is a really big moment, a touching moment, because it's like a toast to Luthen, and it's like, well, we can't toast them all, and then they do. They sit there and they list off. It's Gorn, Nemec, Terranian. There was one name I missed. First season, Cinta, the Gormans, Ferrix, your mother, Aldani, just all these people who have died.
You know what, though? I don't think so. How I took it was we can't toast them all, and she's like, we can toast the ones who I know, because they mean everybody that died. There's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing. But so she's like, well, guess what? These are the ones that affected me. I'll drink to that every day.
Let's toast as many as we can. Since we're
yeah.
No, I appreciate it. And a not so great side of it is, Vel asks him, "What happened? This is what I was told. Do you believe it?" Well, Luthen died for this. They say that specific sentence like 4 times.
Yeah, but in this case, it's one of the better because again, it's just all these characters who've known Luthen learning about it throughout the thing. But in this particular one, she's like, "Do you think this is true?" And he's like, "Luthen died for it." And like for the people who worked closely with him, they're like, "Well, that's enough because Luthen wouldn't die for some horse shit.
He won't fall for the Empire shit." They're all worried this is just some really big, elaborate Imperial trap.
Oh, because someone in the political meeting says like maybe they were playing him, and I think it's douchebag guy that's like, or maybe even worse, like maybe Luthen turned.
No,
fuck you, man.
No, I believe it was Bale that said maybe he was being played, and it's the fish man who says or worse.
Oh, okay.
It is Radish.
Is it really Radish?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it is. I think it's Radis. Or
Admiral Radis.
Or Radis.
It's Ribbit.
Ribbit. Okay.
Ribbit. I do. It's a little moment that doesn't mean much, except for it's just a nice moment between them because they talk about Aldhani, and Cassian's like, "I've heard people who said they were there," and Vel's like, "I would kill a motherfucker if they said that."
I believe her,
like,
dude. I don't know why, G, but I believe her.
No witnesses, bitches.
Yeah. So there's that, and then we get like this like narration of Nemec's speech, and at first I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's weird to have this out of nowhere. But it cuts to Partagaz listening to what presumably this is in Dedra's records.
It's an audiobook. She had a free trial on audible.com.
One of the free books in the Audible library was Nemec's manifesto.
Yeah.
And Partagaz, he's listened to this before, and right now he is just hearing it, and it like he realizes it's right because it starts like one of the lines that focused on it came in at the right time was like they have to rule by fear because it's all just an illusion. It's impossible to do what they want, kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing, and that's when he's like, "Fuck." Yeah.
Well, yeah, and this other ISB goon who's been around a bunch, whose name I can't remember, comes in and he's like,
not Lear, it's an L name.
But he comes in and he's like, "Hey, they're waiting for you," and it's like, "Give me a moment to collect my thoughts." And this dude's like, "Right," or to spread your thoughts around the room.
Yeah. Gather my thoughts and then spread them all around.
I mean, and it's that classic like political thriller kind of thing where like the guy is left in the room and knows shit's about to go down because it's this whole scene of Partagaz sitting down, but it's all like spacey, so it makes it different. But like he's sitting there and then he opens the drawer, pulls out the gun and sets it on the counter.
Pulls out the same D. Is it D11? Is it D44? It's Han Solo's same gun.
Yeah, I recognized it. I was like, that's a Han Solo gun.
Yeah.
The only thing missing was him pouring a glass of space whiskey right before.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy a nice glass of cheap ass whiskey right before I blast.
Yeah, whatever sort of Rev Nog he's got stashed in his desk. You don't have a fucking desk nog?
He shoots himself. These troopers go in, and the guy's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I knew what was going to happen." So Whitney was like, "Why did he do that?" And I'm like, it took me a second to think about it. I'm like, well, there's a couple things probably. One, he knows he's fucked because that entire operation went fucking upside down. Clea got away.
He's going to end up. He's going to end up in the same boat as Dedra.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And
or
then the other side of it,
death marches that Krennic threatened somebody with.
Well, on the other side of it, I didn't think of till you just said, Jack, like that he's listening to the speech and he realizes that like what they're saying is true. Because I kind of felt like he had that look on his face, but I was also like, that doesn't make sense for Partagaz.
My life is a failure.
In the final moments of your life, when you know everything's over and you hear that, you're like, oh, you're right. Everything I've done is horse shit.
Yeah. My whole life was a lie.
So Partagaz is now gone. Blammo,
I'm dead.
Bang, I'm dead.
Something that I forgot to mention because you said him pulling out the Revnog. When in the first episode of this batch, when K2SO is playing like space domino poker, they're drinking Revnog, and then they go to get Clea. They do that mission drunk as shit.
Oh I thought about that too.
They fucking drive that U-wing drunk as shit through space, and they're going in like, hey, what level are we on? Fucking 25? We gotta go up. One more.
Dude, where's my U-wing?
That's why the stun grenade. That's why the stun grenade affected Clea more, because they were both already a little.
They were wasted already.
I'm so used to this, dude. You have no idea what it's like to get a little Revnog in you, take a stun grenade to the face, and call it a Tuesday, bitch.
And I'm not gonna nitpick a stupid little thing, but did you guys notice, like, I don't know, the prop department gave up on this one because they're just drinking Revnog out of a straight up growler,
Yeah, I agree.
like
No, I didn't notice that.
a human Earth growler. Like, tape some fake circuits on it or something.
Take the
like,
threads off at least. Like, I mean, you're on Yavin. Give me a clay pot or something. I don't want to see a fucking 64-ounce growler with the Arizona
You
Beer
can
House
see like
logo
this,
on it.
yeah. You can see the seam like of where the glass was like put together. Like it's a straight up. It's not even a good one. It's one of those cheap ones where you pick it up and you're like, oh man, if I sneeze, I'm gonna break it.
It's been 24 episodes of amazing sets and prop work.
Well, that's why I said I'm
Not wrong.
They're
Not
like done.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not gonna really nitpick. I just noticed I was like, that's a straight up growler.
It didn't necessarily bother me, but I was definitely like, I've poured out of that.
Put some moss on it. I don't know. Like,
Also, you got 64 ounces of Revnog? Damn.
just do a Portlandia. Put a bird on it.
Put a bird on it.
Like,
Makes everything better.
Space bird. One of those face pigeons with the big gullet from Gorman.
I think it's called a loath pigeon.
A loaf pigeon.
It's a loath bird. Leave it a loath.
There is a moment where Vel, and because what we see at the end, I feel like maybe she knows more than she's letting on, but she's telling Andor right before she leaves, like, hey, you should reconnect with Bix. And he's like,
Right.
well, is she safe? And she's like, yeah. Well, then why would I do that? Because she
Yeah.
won't be safe with me. But her just saying that out of nowhere, other than, I guess she also she lost her love. So maybe it's from that too.
Right.
But
Yeah.
once I saw the final thing, I was like, oh, maybe she knows something about Bix that
Right.
Cassian didn't know.
She knows.
So
She knows because he's
And-
like, that time has passed. And she's like, don't be too sure.
but we do see some changes with Vel because she leaves. She finds Clea, who's left the med bay and is just wandering to be dazzledly around the forest. And she
I
gives
was
her a
like,
jacket.
please don't let her get eaten by one of these fucking monsters. Please don't let this be her fucking end after
Yeah.
everything.
She
I
gives
thought
her a
about
jacket. Well, I
Yep.
feel like maybe they put up some shock fences or something
Sure.
to keep them out. Like,
At first, I thought I thought that the injuries were worse than you thought, and she would collapse and just die from internal bleeding or whatever.
well,
and I was
'cause she
nervous.
does pull out her IVs and wander out of the hospital. And
Oh,
that's-
because
right.
Andor goes and visits her, and he's like, "Sorry, this is not like the hero's welcome I promised you, but it's a lot for them to take in."
yeah. But yeah, Vel finds Clea and takes her back to the house, and kind of like, it's a nice moment because they've had their meetings in the past and it's always been very like confrontational.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was like, I think we may have talked about it in the first season, but it's kind of like a jealousy thing at first. It's like Clea's like, oh, well, he likes Vel a lot. He uses her a lot. And I've been there for him. But at this point, Vel finds Clea just bewildered, lost. She lost her dad / best friend /
Yeah.
cohort
didn't just lose
and-
him, killed him.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
the thing,
yeah.
too. She had to do it.
Yeah.
Can't be
And
easy.
then Vel says something like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, it had to be done. We're like,
Aren't you tired of saying that?
Yeah.
Like that's the line back to her. She's like, doesn't that ever get tiring to say that? Because you say it so fucking often.
Well, like I said earlier, so she's like, Luthen always used to say, know your way out before you go in. The problem is, I don't even know who the fuck I am. So at this point,
I don't know where I am
my way
either.
out. Yeah. So, but she says, you're here with friends.
I have friends
I have
everywhere.
friends everywhere. Yeah. It's a good moment.
I was hoping they would kiss.
also, I was thinking about that. I was just like, I never told you that I was super into you. And Vel's heartbroken because she lost into it. It's like, well, I've always been into you, but I had my other thing going on, and also the rebellion. Now we're here, and you know what? You can read the rest of my fan fiction. I'll put it up offline for you.
She's like,
Tony Gilroy's your biggest fan, dude.
Yeah.
she's like, I haven't replaced Cinta, but I could do worse.
Yeah, you can do
Absolutely.
a lot worse.
Oh, sure. Hell yeah. So, alas, it was not to be. But
Because I mean,
if
who
we
else do
got
I have?
5
Who else? Who
Yeah.
else do I have on this planet? That force healer lady. She works in the cafeteria. She smells like fucking nog all the time.
if we got Cinta, we would have gotten a horny Vel and Clea scene. God damn it!
Yep.
But Draven comes into Cassian. telling him Tivik's only going to meet with him. So
Sounds like a trap.
An Imperial destroyer has been parked over Jeddah for days. So, like, if it is a trap, which is what the political
he doesn't
people were
say
saying,
probably trap. He's like, if it's a trap, it's a really fucking elaborate trap.
yeah, it's a really brilliant trap.
Yeah.
Let's not forget when Bale shows up, K2SO says to Cassian, the man you do not like is here.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. That was my next thing. It's like, that man you don't like is here.
But that guy you made fun of for having a small penis is here. Do you remember what you said about it? You said it looked like an acorn just sitting above his balls. He's standing outside.
That guy you said who has a crooked acorn. He's outside the door.
That man you said was way more handsome when he was played by another actor in episode 3 is here.
I don't know, man. Jimmy Smits is a handsome man, but
I'm saying that's what K2SO would. I don't know. I'm good with them either way.
That man whose wife he fucked and told me not to tell anyone. He's standing outside. He doesn't know that the daughter's actually his.
But yeah, he's like, General Draven has your orders, and like, if I die, or he's like, what changed? Why am I ungrounded, Mom? And he's like, look, if I have to die fighting
grounded me.
Mom Mothma and
Daddy Ghana.
I was gonna like, is there a name for dad that starts with a B?
It's
Papa Organa. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I have to die fighting the Empire, I'd rather go down swinging. And it's the last line pretty much before this big montage is like, I think you and Luthen would have got along a lot better than you think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Absolutely
and
awesome.
then it's this big closing montage.
It's just all Rogue One.
It's everybody who's still alive. Basically, it's like, where are our pieces right now? We do see Will Forte, and he's just living his vacant existence with some random drunk chick.
He's got a new piece of ass on the set.
He's living the life. He's living the life he wants, though.
But
That's what you wanted.
Really sad about it.
That's what you wanted.
I kind of wanted to see where the daughter was. Like, I wanted to see her standing over her 13-year-old husband that she just stabbed to death or something.
She's married to a mobster's son. It's not going to end well.
It's just a flash of her with concrete around her feet at the bottom of the lake in Naboo.
It's her from like Goodfellas. Like, I like the attention. I knew he was a bad guy, but I liked him. He was a bad boy. I put his underwear. I put his gun in my underwear and hid it when he beat that man's ass.
You see her crumpled up body, and then a trunk door just closes.
Yeah. Can you believe that people on Yavin, when Clea comes by, they'd spit on the floor? Imagine spitting on your own floor. That was very nice to Clea.
That's rad.
Big words. The way that Clea puts it, that's how they would react. They'd spit on the floor when she walks into their hut.
We see Dedra, her final fate. She is not dead like we predicted, but this is almost worse. She's on Narkina. I'm assuming.
I think she'd rather be dead. Oh, it's definitely Narkina. Or if it's not Narkina,
it's the exact same prison, but I don't know if that's just their prison style. But I think they're telling us, with this being Andor and that being a whole big thing, they're showing us, like, because at first they show her and you see the prison outfit, and I'm like, okay, she's in prison. Then they show the weird double bunk where the lights go out and the floors light up, and I was like, oh,
yeah, right. It's like that.
So here's the thing. I thought the way her story ended was she was going to get a promotion to work on the Death Star, and that's how we would fade out on her.
Okay,
this is so much better. Oh my god, this is a million times better.
Because we need like her and Partagast. We need them to see, like, you are in a shit system that does not give a shit about you, and you're mostly just wrong.
After everything she gave to the Empire and how much she hated the same people that were in that prison before, now she's one of them. Amazing.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
At least with what Classy was saying, if nothing else, it's like, okay, so sure, she's alive for a short amount of time,
or a long amount of bad time. That's the other option.
Once I saw the little double bunk there, I did expect her to do the thing where she stepped out.
I thought
the water killed herself.
I think that she's going to, like, I'm using my story brain here, and I think she's going to step off because she's crying. This is day one, dude, and she's fresh fish, like, just
at this point she's still holding on to hope. Like, they'll figure it out after a few months of this shit. When her number doesn't, like, it goes down after a few days, then it goes back up again. She's just going to be like, well, goodbye. And we do see the Force healer helping do some shit, and her and Cassian have a look. And there's a thing here from that AV Club interview that I wanted to mention, where he sees. So Gilroy says, like, because they're talking about the Force being in here and everything, and he's like, it would have been undernourished if we didn't deal with one of the essential parts of the framework of Star Wars, even though this is a grounded version. But it's really valuable to us. What the Force means in this case is an unwanted destiny, which this means a lot at the end of this show, right?
Right.
And it's just a really cool thing to put on Diego Luna's shoulders as we go along. So like that last look of her looking at him, because she was talking about his destiny and all these things, and it's like we know what's about to happen.
Uh-huh.
So it's a really like loaded look between the two of them. We see Saw Gerrera on Jeddah with the Star Destroyer up there, and Krennic overseeing the final construction of the Death Star. And but luckily, I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I still enjoyed it. The show ends on a kind of levity kind of note, because Cassian gets in the U-wing, and there's K2, and he's like, "There's a rumor we have a flight plan."
Yeah. Things are so much easier when I know what we're doing.
Yep. And then they blast off, and we have one final thing, which again could have been a stinger, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because it fits again.
Stinger, I'm fine with it not being a
cool
stinger.
Extra. Well, stinger, like we talked about at the beginning, cool extra content, but not necessary. This is part of the show.
I'm happy it was this. And
yeah. But
so the meme that I sent,
real quick, I was elated, because I said in the first episode that if we don't see what happens to B2, I'm going to be really sad. So I was elated to see B2. Right. This is very Wall-E. It's B2 hanging out with this other little fucking turd droid like him.
One more win, and it's one more round, and I will win.
Yeah, he's playing tag with Eve, dude. Like they're just...
It's cute.
It's Wall-E and Eve. It's a little cute moment for B2. I'm like, he's still happy. I like him.
So I had texted our group chat earlier, and I said, dude, what if Bix was pregnant? ... And then the meme is, if you can see that, it is Andor, Bix, and Poe Dameron as their son. I mean...
And having that in my head when this happened, Bix walks out into the fields of Mina Rao. She has this baby, and she doesn't have a line, but I was waiting for her to be like, "Don't worry, Poe.
Well, she does
see your dad one day."
You know, she does, like, it's okay. Like, she pats the baby, like, it's okay. And I'm thinking, like, I'm waiting for it to, like, it's okay, Poe.
Yeah.
I
thought the same thing.
I built it up in my head too much. I was just like, it has to be. It has to be Poe. No, it doesn't have to be a fucking anybody. It could be a nobody character that they never show in another movie. They never show another property. It's the fact that Andor's sacrifice, he did it for his unknowingly born child, you know, like it just means it just adds that much more, and he gets the ultimate gift was, you know, Bix has a baby.
And I mean, it's a sweet moment, but also if you really think about the ending of Rogue One, when he dies in the arms of some other woman as the nuclear apocalypse,
that's a death grasp. You don't. A death grasp is a death grasp. You just look for the next fucking thing. I'd grab a body pillow with some fucking waifu painted on it.
It's not like he pulled his dick out, Derrick, before the mushroom cloud came at them. He was like, "Hey, look, we went through this, we did it, and this is our last moment together."
When he gave her a hug, did he give her a honka honka?
Yeah,
I don't.
He
think
looks
so.
at her. They see the mushroom cloud. He looks at her. Speaking of mushrooms, but he doesn't have time.
Oh man, that
mushroom blue.
That blast looks pretty hot. You know what else looks hot?
Yeah, no, I think that was wholesome, Derrick. You fucking scumbag.
I'm a piece of shit.
But the point of that rambling before though is like this. I kind of hope we don't see this kid ever again.
No, yeah. And
there's a reason our other podcast is called Bad Movies Worse People.
It's true. Right. I heard Derrick sexualize an Ewok. That's something that hasn't happened since like the early days of 4chan.
Here's the thing. If who's to say that Star Wars as a franchise won't say that kid was Poe Dameron? Now that we found out that bitch was Pregatone, but if Tony Gilroy had to say, he would be like, absolutely not. Absolutely. Well, I think that what we do not fuck with the story I
there's
created.
Something we know about Poe Dameron's mother, if I'm not wrong, that she. Oh, you know what? I believe that he made up a headcanon that Poe Dameron was born on Yavin, and they went with it. If I'm not wrong, I think it's canon. So I don't think it could be Poe, but it's not. It's not him.
I don't think it'll be that. But I mean, one thing I will say is, you're talking about if Tony Gilroy has a say in what they do with any of these characters, but think about the Marvel Universe, Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn does a great job with all these characters. He writes them so well. He did all this stuff. But whenever they show up in another movie and someone else is writing for them, it's like, but what if they were a butt joke?
Very true.
So that's very much a Disney thing, is like, oh, you know how Vel was this really thought out, really well fleshed out character that had a lot of internal struggle and depth. How about she's just a wisecracking goon now? Like, you know,
she has catchphrases. Ah, shucks.
You should have sent her that coming.
Say hello to my little friend.
say hello to your mom Mothma for me.
It looks like you're going to Luthen this battle.
So, question for you guys. I'm not going to call it a complaint. I'm going to call it something I don't understand. Since we are one BBY, there's no way that Rogue One and the original Star Wars mushed together as a whole year. Like, am I missing something? There's no way, right?
It could be because it's the end of episode. It's the end of New Hope.
So 0 BBY is like the moment of the Battle of Yavin, right?
Yeah, where the Death Star is moving over to blow up Yavin.
I mean, we don't know. We talked about it when we did A New Hope, and it's like how much time elapsed between the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie, and there's these theories about how long.
That shit was sorry. That was almost in like real time. It was almost like fucking 24.
Well, there's a whole thing we talked about where like people have extrapolated from different writings and whatever that like how long the space travel takes and that stuff, and it's like it took him 10 days to get to Dagobah and all this stuff. Yeah. But one BBY doesn't mean a whole year though. It's like saying this happened in December of 2019.
Okay.
And then the Battle of Yavin is January of 2020.
Oh, that's true.
A different year.
You still could have your one crazy night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just, this is New Year's Eve.
It's not 0 BBY because it's still before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, talk about a hell of a New Year's Eve party. You blew up the Death Star. Oh, yeah. Talk about a ball dropping.
I was about to say, talk about a ball drop.
You got the fireworks ready to go.
Yeah. There's even a countdown.
There was also a kiss. It was brother sister. That's later.
Yeah, that's happened on New Year's.
That's later.
The coolest / loserliest things I've ever done is I timed Oppenheimer down to the second where I could start it and the bomb would go off at midnight.
Nice.
And there was a countdown for that too. Yeah, there was a countdown for that too. But here's the thing: there's a countdown. They get to 0. Then there's a scene of them pushing the button, and then the bomb goes off. I had to really like calculate out like what is going to be my moment that is going to be.
That midnight. Would be the same thing with episode 4, right? Because they get down. It's like ready. They say it like 3 times, and then the guy goes to pull the switch, and then it's like ba-boom.
Yes.
That's true. There is a countdown.
So the way we always end these, and just in case you guys have forgotten and the listeners, because we haven't done this, we haven't concluded anything recently, is we do a lightsaber rating. And there's halves and quarters that have names, but I don't think I'm going to have to bother with those in this case.
I don't think you are.
I think I have a feeling we're all going to go with the same number. It's probably more than 4 and less than it has a lot to do with Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, a lot. I'll start. I'm giving it 5 lightsabers.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we've gone into all the details about why, so I'm not going to give a speech, but 5 lightsabers. Exactly. This is amazing.
Were there
6 lightsabers?
5 really fucking big 5 Kylo Rens where it has those little fucking exhaust ports adding more to it.
5 lightsabers and a whip.
Ooh.
or I'm like Mexican General Grievous because I collected those bitches and I'm like, oh, look how many I have. I have more arms for more lightsabers.
Yeah, I mean, like the criticisms we have of this show are minimal.
Absolutely.
I mean, the only criticisms I threw in was because I felt like I was just spending a month jerking off Disney, and they don't necessarily deserve it. Like this show does, but
Tony Gilroy does. This show does. People involved in the show do, but not Disney.
Yeah,
I think that the thing we have to do right off, because Andor season 2 is over, and we have a movie that we can watch that's going to complete the story and give us more.
Which I'm
Tony
going to
Gilroy
watch
writing.
as soon as we're done.
Me too. I'm going to watch Michael Clayton as soon as we're done.
Oh, I was going to go Miss Congeniality. I misunderstood.
Oh, see, I was going to do Y Tu Mama Tambien. So
Oh, perfect. We shot one. Oh, dude. Fuck. Missed opportunity. I'm going to go down to like 4.75 lightsabers because Gael Garcia Bernal should have showed up doing anything. Absolutely anything. He could have been like a
I would have been fine
shopkeeper.
with that. He could have been just some fucking dude on Yavin walking by.
Yeah, just be like, taps, gives Andor a tap on the shoulder and be like, good luck out there, my man. He's like, oh, thanks a lot. Buddy. Like, oh, so
You know what? Give him a
missed
fucking
opportunity.
droid voice.
Perfect. Yeah.
Let him
or
voice a
just
droid.
we don't serve your kind in here,
Perfect.
But that's okay. You know what? I'll go back to 6. It deserves 6.
So that's it for this. Our next main thing is going to be Return of the Jedi. In between now and then, though, I think Jack and I are going to watch the new animated series Tales from the Underworld or Tales of the Underworld. One of those
Tales of
terms. And we're going to do 2 episodes, one talking about the arc involving Massage Mistress and one talking about the arc involving Bane. Card Bane. He was born in it.
Oh man, you wait till you hear the voice work that gets done. I think it's D. Bradley Baker doing the voice. I think I'll have to look that up.
But we're going to talk about that. So one of those will come out, and then we'll have Jedi, and we'll just keep on and on. It'll be every other week or every week. I don't know, whatever we do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Works. My brain is scrambled from a month of Andor, and yours should be too. So that's it for this episode. I've been Derrick.
I'm Jack.
I'm the classy alcoholic.
Go watch Rogue One right now.
And so it is.